scrutiny. Fox News captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, who pleaded not guilty to terrorism, drug, and weapons charges in federal court in New York City and told the judge he's the president of his country but was kidnapped. Attorney General Pam Bondi tells Fox's Hannity.
This was well within the president's Article 2 powers. It was a law enforcement function to arrest indicted individuals in Venezuela.
Congressional leaders got a briefing on Saturday's raid that captured Maduro and his wife from the Secretaries of War and State and others. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says he left with more questions than answers.
I did not receive any assurances that we would not try to do the same thing in other countries.
The protests keep raging in Iran, angry over the economy and angry at the regime. And up to 35 deaths are now reported, days after President Trump warned if Iran kills protesters, the U.S. will come to their rescue.
The human rights activist news agency says 2 of the deaths were people linked to law enforcement. There have been protests in 26 of Iran's 31 provinces over the past 10 days. The agency reports that at least 1,200 people have been detained, although it adds the true number is likely much higher.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. There are more talks today in Paris, trying to help Ukraine work out a peace plan to stop Russia's war. The U.S. and our allies and Ukraine's President Zelensky will all be there. An American ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker, tells Fox Ukraine's post-war security agreements are coming.
The Coalition of the Willing, which is about 50 allied countries, many of them in NATO, are going to, agree to a certain security framework for Ukraine, and so is the United States, both as part of that Coalition of the Willing and separately.
There is some tension as Denmark, a U.S. NATO ally, pushes back against President Trump's reiterated call for an American takeover of Greenland, citing national security concerns. But the island of Greenland is a Danish territory. America's listening to Fox News.
Welcome to the most wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, scream in terror, and start looking for new ways to save money. If that's you, why not cut your wireless bill in half with a saver plan from Pure Talk? You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast 5G network for just $20 a month. Ho, ho, ho. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you switch in minutes. Again, talk, text, and data for just $20 a month.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Subaru of Gwinnett. You'll love the difference. The Morning Xtra, only on Extra 106.3.
Morning, y'all. Tug and Los on a Tuesday. Glad that you're here. Appreciate you spending time with us on the Morning Xtra and then throughout the day here on Extra 106.3. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing great.
I love it. I see that you've got a new addition.
I've added a small cushion for my very uncomfortable chair.
That's right.
After months of telling myself, you know what this chair needs?
A cushion. And now it's done. And all because you did good.
I gave blood over the Christmas holiday. Turns out I didn't know that I knew I was O. But then I found out I was O negative, just as you are.
That's right.
So you and I are now universal blood donors together.
Right. Yep.
And because I was O negative, I was also given a $25 gift card.
Here, your blood is glorious.
I said, thank you. And I got to figure out what to do with this.
And then, ding.
It turned into, why don't I spend the extra 83 cents
That's right.
of my own money and my card
and get this really nice cushion.
Got a cushion
it's
now for
lifted
the
you
booty.
Up too, man. You're
a little bit.
You're about to...
Man, I really should make this chair go down. Okay.
There you're
Is that where they took the blood from?
Yes.
Is that why you need the cushion?
They went in the cushion. They said, here's where the good blood is. This is what we're going to do.
Back here, watch out.
They called it trauma blood.
Oh.
They said
I've never heard it called that.
They said that when they consider it trauma blood, that goes on to emergency rooms and into ambulances.
Yeah.
That's O negative?
That was, O negative, but they had to measure, I guess it was my hemoglobin and a couple of other things. And she said, based on your information, your blood qualifies for trauma blood. So here's your $25 gift card.
Bam.
Yeah.
Bam! Look at there.
Can't do it again for like another, I think, 5 weeks or 6 weeks, something like that.
Every 8 weeks, something like that. But it's good to do for sure.
You all right, man? You gonna start selling your plasma or something?
If you keep giving me $25 gift cards, I'm going to keep donating blood. It's an act of commerce.
That's right.
It's capitalism at its best.
No.
You give me something, I give you something. Everybody walks away happy,
and you get a cookie.
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
They do. They have little snacks at the end.
They were asking me all the questions. Like, are you okay to get up, sir?
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
I'm good. The chump next to me couldn't pump anything.
Dude, it's funny. My wife has O positive, and so does my son. But she can't give blood. It just doesn't work. Dude, she gave blood one time. We went after church. As she's walking down the steps, it was one of the little pull behind. I think we went to actually a different church to do it. And she steps down off the little bus. And I'm walking and I look at her, and dude, her pupils, it was like a movie scene. Her pupils went so tiny and then gone. Well, I physically caught her, and it's happened twice now. I was like, never again.
So that's always the concern, that people have those feigning issues and things like that.
Yep.
I have to curtail the jokes because I wanted to do nothing but needle jokes. So, for instance,
are there a lot of needle jokes out there?
As the very nice lady, she's like, well, which arm do you prefer? I was like, either one, and they put me over on this one table sort of thing, and so it was left side. It didn't matter either way.
Same.
And like my first thing is, well, because she's looking for the vein. She's like, oh, that looks like a good one. I was like, well, that's the one I shoot up in.
Oh yeah, they don't like that.
No. Again, I'm like all the track jokes.
Yeah.
Like, well, it's I typically plug myself between my toes, so that's why that vein looks so good. I wanted to issue all of them, and I realized this is not a place of comedy, so I will hold off.
Yeah, moving forward. No more needle jokes.
Yes, no AIDS jokes either.
That's right.
That's all part. They make you, and I hadn't given blood in quite a long time. They make you now on an iPad, click through everything.
That. Have you been out of the country?
Right. All the typical stuff that you're used to. And the other one's like, have you recently had a vaccine?
I was going to ask, is there somewhere to check that?
There was a few of them that were in there.
Got pure blood here.
They were like, oh, look at this guy. It's trauma blood. But the surprising factor was I didn't have a problem with answering any of these questions right out there in the open.
Yeah, either.
But they sent me to a small little room.
Oh, they always do, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I would have just been like, nope.
Yeah.
Like, have you paid for sex? Nope. Have you shot up with this? Nope.
Yeah.
Have you? And it's like all of these questions that I would have just.
Yeah.
But apparently, some people need some privacy.
That's right. Well, look, not everybody can answer nope.
I guess that's the reason.
That's right.
I would imagine naturally they would stay away from donating blood.
Yes, that's right. Well, maybe. The lure of the $25 gift card is pretty powerful.
One of the questions was, have you had more than one sexual partner in it's like a 2-year period? I'm like, nope. But if I was, let's say, a young man of quality quaff like Jure, and it was a different time period, I'd be like, this one's tough to answer.
I got to tell you, man.
This one's tough to answer.
Don't you know the girls are swooning?
There was a time.
I just do what I can.
In straight bachelor days, I would have been like, ooh, this one's going to sweat to answer this.
That's right. Whew. Especially if you're, maybe you went with the
not an ideal first date. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, right. You went with the girlfriend?
Well, Tug and I have been married. He's 20 plus. I'm coming up on 20 this year. This is not a question that comes up where I go, ooh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one. No,
I was like, but if you at least Jure, you can look back 5 years ago and be like, oh yeah, single.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like
ready to mingle.
It's been quite a while since I had a single day.
No, me too, man. Gosh. Yeah, this is 25 for us this year. 25. It's crazy to think about. Do you ever reflect back like that, especially when you think about 20 plus years and I know when you get married, you expect to get to this point. That's the whole point of getting married. But when you get here and you turn around and do the about face and look back, you're like, holy cow, where is this time gone?
There is a victory that occurs when I think about how long this has been, and most of the time it doesn't really come up until you're around other older married couples. Mm-hmm. Namely, my in-laws or their friends, and you realize they've been married, 40, 45 years. And when they look at you guys like my wife and I, they're like, well, y'all are tracking to 20, so I guess y'all did this right.
Yeah.
There's a little level of acceptance of, well, how hot-headed can you really be?
Yeah. What have I not seen in 20 years? I've probably seen it.
Right. You've got to, and everybody has a different relationship, and sometimes things fail because of all sorts of crazy reasons. But if you can keep something going that long, I think it's because a lot of times you're either defeated or amenable. And I like to be amenable.
Yeah, me too. That's right.
I have very few things I want to fight with you over.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. That's the thing.
It won't be like dinner. Like, I can't believe you did that.
What? We're not going there. I hate that place. Yeah, none of that.
I'm like, do they have margaritas? All right.
Good enough.
Let's go.
Let's go. That's exactly right.
Oh, that's what you and the kids want?
Yeah.
All right.
Good enough.
I don't really want to do Indian again, but okay.
Okay, we'll do it. I'm with you, dude. There's just nothing I want to argue about. Dre, since y'all are trending toward, some maybe not
Conversation's been having.
Yeah, I mean, now
found out last night Emerald Cut is going to be the way to go.
That's why I say trending toward.
Got to go get some sizing questions.
What are the things that you still are trying to find footing on? Are there things that y'all still...
Islam.
Yeah, she doesn't like when I stop and pray.
She really doesn't like when you turn to Mecca.
Yeah. I have to move all over tennis stuff.
Five times a day.
No, I think any time, especially when you get to that discussion point that even a guy like Dre is in, it's because it's actually easy.
Yeah.
Like a good relationship is easy.
It is. It's
and
funny.
that's what shocked me as a guy who hasn't had a history of, all right, this has been fun, see you later.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of that in my past.
Again, the blood donation. Yeah.
No, but when you know. Right?
It's just like, it's easy.
Yeah. All right, I'm pretty happy with what I got here.
That's exactly right.
When you do have the confrontational moment, and hey, welcome to Loveline. This is Tug and Los and Jerry. When you do have the moment, it doesn't last long, and when it does occur, it doesn't take long to go, what was that all about?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I got short with you. I didn't mean to. Yeah.
I mean, most of the time, I just blame it on hangry.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm hungry.
I was hangry.
Let's get to that Indian restaurant.
Haven't had anything. It's been 18 hours. Let's go eat Indian. That's fine.
That's right. I've been fasting, don't you know? It caused me to be irritable. I don't mean to be. No,
my wife knows most of the time that if I'm being short, she's like, when was the last time you ate?
This dude's hungry.
This guy's just hungry.
Yeah, no. And that's such a dude thing, too, right? To get angry when you're hungry.
She'll look at me. It's not hungry for us. She'll look at me and she goes, did you take a nap this afternoon?
See, that's
no.
I'm worn down.
Probably even more for me than hungry is napping.
Did you get a nap?
If I'm tired, I'm irritable. That's just part of me.
That was last night. It's about 9:45 when my wife, because we both were on kid duty. I took both the girls to practice. My older daughter had a shorter practice. They were done at 8. My younger one wasn't done until 9:15. So even though I dropped them both off, I decided to hang around, got my older daughter at 8, went home. So my wife did the later evening pickup. So she doesn't get in the door until 9:45. I was already in bed, and the first thing out of her mouth was, you really didn't get a nap this afternoon.
No, I did not. That's why I'm
no.
in bed already.
I was like, normally you'd be watching like a Hawks game or whatever else, and I was already in bed.
Dude, I watched a little bit of the Hawks last night. Just kind of bouncing around. I did my 12-minute edition of Jeopardy. I've gotten that down to a science.
It's so awesome. You're like 12 minutes.
Dude, I'm telling you. And I've decided that I hate what is it called when you
Double Jeopardy?
Yes, that. Well, the thing when you have to bet whatever.
Oh, the final question?
Final Jeopardy?
No, it goes. There's one in the first round, 2 in the second round. What is it called?
I'm not aware enough of Jeopardy these days.
Anyway, you and you get the question.
The Daily Double?
Yes, there we go. And I hate those because they slow the game down. Like, it drives me
because you're
crazy.
Right. It does have a moment.
Yeah, because they got to bet their amount. I'm like, who cares? Move along.
You got to see a clip from your favorite celebrity
or
with
whatever. Yeah.
So when you hear the sounder,
oh, dude, I'm like,
you're like, oh, son of a.
That's exactly right. That's how, because I guess with the ADD and just our attention span, I don't want nothing slowing it down. I was telling Los, Dre, I've got it down like the first stop set, because I just record them and watch them later. And I just hit fast forward 30 seconds 6 times, and I'm right back into the next segment.
Attaboy.
Dude, it works perfectly. Do y'all do that? Do you time everything out like that? Or is that just like some weird quirk that I have?
Sure quirk.
Yeah. So I have one of the only subscriptions that I pay for these days, but I have found great value in is YouTube Red or YouTube Premium, whatever they call it.
Where you don't get the ads?
No ads.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to skip on the ad. You don't have to wait that 5 seconds before the commercial goes away.
How much does it cost?
$5 a month,
and
$5.99, I think.
And so is that for just like regular YouTube? Like if you watch a music video, there's just
everything.
Okay,
everything. No ads.
Like it.
Not in the middle of a video, because I like the long form stuff. I watch, like history stuff, stuff like that. The last thing I want to do is be watching, something on the Korean War and how these Marines were surrounded, but they fought their way out.
And suddenly for consolidating your debt.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like, hey, your dog needs better food. Okay, thank you.
That's exactly right.
The only time that I get frustrated with it, because most of the time for me, it's like leisure. Yeah. It's like I'm right there with Jure. If you give me, I watched I think it was the 1983 story of the Crips versus the Rangers.
Oh, that one's so awesome.
That one. Do you know this story?
No.
This might be a story time at some point.
It's so good.
But you had, it was a former Army Ranger who was living in this, well, basically he still lives there today, but it was like this drug-infested neighborhood.
It's Crenshaw, wasn't it?
And it was it was in Seattle.
Oh, I thought
so he was in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, this is at the time where street gangs with the rise of crack had moved all up and down the West Coast. And so he just thought, I'm going to this quiet neighborhood. And he started to set up operations where he was recording what was going on in the street. The gang was like, stop doing that. Stop recording us. And he decided, I'm going to have a barbecue and I'm going to bring all my friends over. And when the gang started threatening him, he told his friends, hey, why don't you come healed.
Yeah.
It was a street fight between the Rangers and the Crips.
Holy cow.
It's a crazy story.
Let me guess, the Rangers won.
The Ash Street Shootout.
The Ash Street Shootout.
Did the Rangers do the job?
Put it this way, the police showed up. They were amazed that, first off, no one was dead.
Oh, wow.
There were a number of gang members that did have to show up in hospitals outside the city.
Yeah.
Like, drove them to somewhere else and this guy's got a gunshot wound.
Yeah.
I don't know.
know.
So the Rangers did their business.
Yeah.
But it's a wild. So that's the sort of stuff when Jure and I talk about go down that road.
Yeah.
So by the way,
be interrupted.
The only time I want what you have in terms of that subscription is when I'm working out, because there's nothing worse than being on a device and trying to hit skip.
And you hit everything but skip.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst.
Listen to this. Starting at 9:20 p.m., 12 or so Rangers and 15 to 20 people from across the street exchanged gunfire with handguns and lawn guns for 5 to 30 minutes until the police arrived.
This went on for a while. In fact, police showed up, and there was so much gunfire, they left.
Wow. The Rangers are like, blap, 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 blap.
And so they're set up tactically. That's a long time for a gunfight.
It's been a long time since I've been in a fight or anything, but you forget, most street fights are over in 30 seconds.
Yes.
A minute at most. 5 to 30 minutes of a shootout.
Yeah, dude, that's
an eternity.
That's OK Corral style there. That's Wild Wild West.
You'll, at some point, maybe it's Dre or maybe myself, I don't know, it depends on who decides they love you more today. We'll send you a link.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can watch a 20-minute recap. You can watch a 2-hour recap.
Yeah.
You can watch an hour of the man who owns the home telling the entire story of it, blow by blow. There's so many different ways to tell that story.
You can watch the Killdozer documentaries out there.
I don't know what's Killdozer.
You know about Killdozer, don't you? Oh, okay. So this was a guy in Colorado. He got this giant. To call it a bulldozer is underselling it. And he armor plated this thing up.
Yes, I remember this as a news story.
And he had a beef with the city hall where there was some tax dispute over his property. And, well, he's no longer with us because he took that Killdozer, is what they called it, this armor plated huge bulldozer, and just went and bulldozed a bunch of stuff in the town.
Marvin Heemeyer.
That's right. And
remember this story.
He had cement and steel plates on this thing, and they shot at him all day long. They could not stop him.
Didn't matter.
No, they could not stop him. And now there's a YouTuber that has rebuilt the thing, a guy up in Tennessee called Whistlin' Diesel, who's known for
recreating dangerous items.
No, he's known for destroying, what does he call it? Like pressure testing vehicles, where he takes Ferraris and G-Wagons and does like 100-foot jumps in them.
I will tell you the only reason that starts to ring a bell. Obviously, the news story, but there is an episode, and it's the one cartoon I watch is Rick and Morty.
Did they reference Killdozer?
Or they do. They opened up their newest season like last year, and Morty had created a Killdozer. And he's got so much PTSD. He's yelling about messing with the wolf.
Genius, absolute genius this morning. As we open the segment, the first segment.
We didn't even get to the stuff that we wanted to. That's awesome.
That's right. Well, I mean,
speaking of taking on the government, it is an anniversary today of sorts.
Which one?
January 6th.
Oh, wow!
It is.
I didn't even.
5 years.
Never even. You know why? Because it doesn't live in my consciousness every single moment of those protesters. They're insurrectionists.
Dude, I had to ask. It's
funny
how little impact it has on me and you and Jure.
Had Jure been there and then got tangled up in a case, there'd be a reason why he'd always remember it.
Yeah, I just feel bad for the folks who had to spend, 2.5, 3 years?
Oh, my gosh.
Sitting around.
Oftentimes without trial.
Yeah.
What do they call the moving around therapy?
Diesel therapy.
That's right.
That's right. Moving them around. That way they couldn't talk to their lawyers and such. And then the Michael Bird, I've seen it 2 or 3 times this morning. Michael Bird and his wife are accused of running a Somalian-style daycare in Washington, D.C. Libs of TikTok is where I saw it this morning first. We'll see if that turns out to be the case.
I might open a Somalian daycare in Woodstock.
No kidding, dude. That's the way to go. I mean, dude, can you imagine what it is in New York and California and big, big blue cities? If it's that big in Minneapolis.
And then the money gets kicked back over to the Democrat politicians, and that's how the game's played.
That's right.
Don't worry, I'll keep all the money for myself.
That's right.
I'll make some donations to the red side.
Right. They find out. They come seek you out.
No kidding. When we come back, Dr. Rich McCormick from Georgia's 7th District, our U.S. representative, on the incredible military op in Venezuela, next on Extra 106.3.
President Trump is restoring freedom, bringing justice back to America, and restoring power to the people. And the conservative voice of Atlanta has his back and will always bring you the national and local voices you need when it matters most. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
How about a simple New Year's resolution? One that even I was able to achieve. Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You're going to feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look into that mirror, and you need to know what it feels like. And now, from Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment to their highly experienced team, they are the team that I personally recommend and trust in hair restoration. Did I mention your new hair is guaranteed to grow and can grow for life? How about celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 872-217-HAIR. Again, that's 872-217-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's not PR, it's not fluff. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. or listen to the podcast anywhere. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
So your New Year's resolution was to slow down on the drinking. Now you're in a jail cell facing a DUI. Time to call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. A Second Chance will get your loved one home quickly. For 20 years, they've been helping folks with 12 locations across Metro Atlanta and Birmingham and are available 24/7. For fast, professional, discreet services, call 404-BAILOUT. That's 404-BAILOUT or visit atlbail.com. A Second Chance Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was wasn't a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Bullet points.
I'm Eben Brown. A haven for gun control is told one of its most restrictive laws is unconstitutional. Second Amendment advocates celebrated the new year with a new ruling from the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in the Ninth Circuit saying California's ban on openly carrying one's firearm is not in sync with the U.S. Constitution and must be struck down. The three-judge panel says the decision by a lower court to uphold the law was incorrect, as the law in question can't pass what is now called the Bruin test, referring to a U.S. Supreme Court decision about gun laws in New York State needing to be rooted in historic tradition if they are to be considered constitutional. It's expected that California's Attorney General will now ask the Ninth Circuit for an en-banc hearing. That's a step before asking the Supreme Court to take the case. California's open carry ban itself only came into law in 2012. And those are your bullet points. I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, January 6th. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens was sworn in for his second term Monday at Georgia State University's Convocation Hall. Dickens outlined his focus for the next 4 years around progress on public safety, affordable housing, and city services. Two Democratic state lawmakers are stepping down from their seats. Stone Mountain Representative Karen Bennett resigned effective January 1st after 13 years, while Augusta Representative Lynn Hefner stepped down Monday, citing severe Hurricane Helene damage that left her unable to live in her district. The next session begins January 12th. Governor Kemp is expected to call special elections to fill both seats. Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park has closed the mountain road to private vehicles to reduce congestion and improve visitor safety. Shuttles, bicyclists, and pedestrians will still have access as the park makes road and summit upgrades. And the Braves will host free all-day Braves Fest at the Battery on Saturday, January 31st. The fest features fan activities, entertainment, and player interactions ahead of the 2026 season. Paid autograph sessions go on sale this week. All proceeds benefit the Atlanta Braves Foundation. Today's weather, mostly cloudy with a high of 65. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra, joined by Dr. Rich McCormick. He represents Georgia in the 7th District in the U.S. House of Representatives. Dr. McCormick, how are you?
Great. Great to be with you today. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. As a guy that flew helicopters in the United States military and the Marine Corps specifically, how proud were you of this operation and the fact that we only took the slightest bit, amount of damage to one helicopter? We had only a slight injury to one service members, no death. We got in and out in about 2.5 hours. You have to be on cloud nine going, that's my team.
Well, first of all, amazing. It's almost a miracle to think about it. To think about an operation on that scale, executed to near flawlessness. I'm actually not just proud. I'm a little jealous, quite frankly. I wish I could have been part of that, because that is going to be a movie, and it's going to be something that's almost mythical. It's better than any Avengers movie where literally you're not taking casualties and you're doing a job that's almost. You went into a foreign country, fortified foreign country, and took out basically his Secret Service, got him out of a safe house, and within 2 hours. It's crazy.
Congressman Dr. Rich McCormick is our guest. I know the other side wants to talk about how, well, we're going after Venezuela. We're bombing Venezuela. This is all about oil. And I look at this as geopolitically, the Monroe Doctrine is alive, and the stronger that we are in this hemisphere, that's a great thing for America. What are your thoughts on that?
Heck yeah. I mean, this is something I've been talking about for years. The Monroe Doctrine has been dead, really. I mean, we've been in trouble. We've lost our influence in South and Central America in large part. I mean, we have China and Russia had more influence in Venezuela, was growing in Argentina until recently, all through Peru, Cuba, ports of Central America. This is getting to be a very scary place in the world when it's our backyard and we basically lost control of it. We lost influence. That's really dangerous to us in so many ways, because you can't, for those isolationists out there, just realize that isolationism never has been the answer. For every country that's ever tried it, it's just like communism. For my fellow Republicans who think that you can ignore the rest of the world and it's going to be okay, just remember the same thing you're critical of socialism and communism for never working, neither has isolationism. It will put you in a bad position for trade and influence and everything else you want to get done in this world. So I'm really excited about this for Venezuela. First of all, the people of Venezuela have got to be overjoyed. They're going to see their standard of living instantly rise. That money that's been pilfered in the wealthiest oil nation in the world, the nation that used to have the number 2 GDP per capita in the world. And I used to train with Venezuelan Marines when I first came in the early 90s. Those guys were on our side. They were friendly to us. They were flourishing. They have beautiful terrain, resources, women. It's just a gorgeous place. And yet they were basically eating their zoo animals, starving, and had an illegitimate president there who cheated his way into the presidency and basically was pilfering the nation. They're going to be a way better off nation. It's going to be good for them, good for us. There's really no downside because of the fact that we're able to do this. This is going to be amazing. They're going to have self-determination back. There'll be a democracy again. I'm excited for them.
The Trump effect is what I want to ask you about next. Congressman Dr. Rich McCormick joining us on the Morning Xtra Tug and Los until 10. You had Venezuelans celebrating in Venezuela and across the country in the United States. And then think about this. We had another very strategic operation in Iran, and now the Iranian people are emboldened to be able to protest against the leadership there in Iran. That's what a strong military is setting up this world for, Dr. McCormick.
Yeah, and it's funny when some people call nation building using a very negative connotation. I want to be careful how it's conceived, but if you can support the people, a popular uprising. It's not a Vietnam. It's nothing negative. This is not a Bay of Pigs we're talking about. We're talking about giving the people a chance to take back their country. Iran has been run by thugs. 10% of the people that have guns, they have a theocracy. In other words, written by religious zealots who are dangerous, who are exporting terror all over the world. Iran is literally the worst, most evil regime that you'll see in the world. They literally use their oil reserves to fund the war of terror against the rest of the world. They're all over there. They're the ones who fund Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas, you name it. Anybody who's a bad guy, they fund, and they're proud of it because they think that the only thing they were put here on earth was to wipe Israel off the face of the earth, and then the United States. We are the big Satan to them. If we can destabilize that government, it is nothing but good for us and the rest of the world. I hope we can do something. Of course, it would be impossible to pull off the same kind of endeavor in Iran as we did in Venezuela. But anything we can do to destabilize that government is a good thing, and it's good for the people. Believe me, this country used to be one of the most moderate countries in the world. They love their freedoms. They want to be more Americanized, but they've been tamped down by violent oligarchs and an autocracy that basically believes that they are religiously supposed to subdue their people into something they never had before, and it's really a shame. So I hope we can continue this great momentum like you were just talking about.
Congressman Dr. Rich McCormick is our guest right here on the Morning Xtra. Sir, we're close enough in age where we've both experienced the global war on terror as adults. And while I am all about the use of American power, I am also part of that generation of fatigue of I don't want to see boots on the ground in different countries. So when we see what is going on in Iran and now in Venezuela, I think this is where our side looks at the use of military force and can get behind it. Is that a similar view that you have, or is yours different?
No, I agree with you 100%. Now, first of all, just putting men and women in harm's way, it's people, this is the reason that we withdrew from Afghanistan in a very bad way. It was a race by Biden to get something done just for the extra block because he didn't want people in America put it on harm's way. But we weren't losing people in Afghanistan. We'd already paid the price. $2 trillion, almost 2,500 lives lost, countless brain injuries and limbs lost, months and years away from our families. We'd done all that, and we weren't losing people over there. The Afghanis were still losing people, but they were giving themselves a hope. We had fewer people over there than we have in Spain right now. We've never even fought a war in Spain. So we have to be smart about the way we apply our forces. We get committed to a new war with boots on the ground. We got to be careful about it because that is another Vietnam when you start building forces overseas. You may need some temporary stabilization. I always look at places like Haiti and stuff like that have essentially no government, and now Venezuela essentially has a headless government. So we do have to be careful not to see things go into pandemonium where drug lords become the law. That would be a horrible thing for the people. So we need to be judicious. I certainly don't want to have a full-force invasion of another country. That would be something we don't want to be in. And I think the people like you and I, we are fatigued. We've been at war pretty much my entire military career and beyond. And I think we do have that fatigue, just like you were talking about.
No doubt. Dr. Rich McCormick joining us on the Morning Xtra, Tug and Los until 10. But when you look at what was happening in Venezuela, this was an indictment that was laid down in the first Trump administration. It continued. It wasn't scrapped during the Biden administration. They added a $25 million bounty to Maduro. They could have acted. They decided not to. But because of that, you have Hezbollah operating in Venezuela, the Chinese, the Russians. What do you think happens? Because I think what we did was a loud message to all of them. What do you think happens ultimately to Cuba? Because that's the one that I feel like is going to fall naturally because all the resources that all of those countries and that terrorist group that I mentioned were in Venezuela to take advantage of. Cuba is being left out. They are going to have nothing. And it seems like that problem that we've had for so many years is going to take care of itself.
That is a really good point. I always forget, I kind of gloss over basically the effect that Cuba's had. It's been exporting its government. They had a ton of influence in Venezuela. They're actually propping that government up. For such a small country, their exportation of communism was real. And Maduro was basically propped up. He had several Cubans involved in his government and guiding him in the way he did business. First of all, think about the cojones that Trump had to have to get this done. Now, I'll even go back to when Obama went after Osama bin Laden in Pakistan, by the way, a foreign country that was not the home of Osama bin Laden, but that's where he was hiding out, and that was an ally. And we actually invaded a foreign country to get him out. That takes real courage as a president to put your reputation on the line. Remember, Jimmy Carter failed dramatically in Iran way back in the day, and that cost him a presidency in some ways. So hats off to Trump to be bold like that and realize those Democrats that are criticizing him didn't say a boo when Obama did the same thing in Pakistan, essentially going after, and that's a friendly nation. And we invaded them basically to grab a guy just in similar fashion. They did make a good movie out of that one too. So this will be stabilizing for the world, for its own people. This is going to be something very positive. God help us. I hope that they can choose a good government and really get buoyed up with the kind of economy they deserve. But yeah, Cuba, I hope crumbles now. One less ally in that region that they really needed. I hope that the people rise up against that horrible, oppressive, violent government and overthrow them without too much violence.
Congressman Dr. Rich McCormick is our guest, just as you had brought up, sir. When you look at Venezuela and the amount of oil reserves that are under their feet, they're Saudi Arabian rich. That's the reason why when you saw their standard of living drop by 80-90% on their income over the last 20-25 years with these leftist regimes, why there's so much hope for that region. But also, I do believe that oil allows you to be aggressive. And I believe that being able to have a say now in what happens with Venezuelan oil should curtail some of the aggression, perhaps by China and Taiwan. What do you have to say about that?
Well, when Saudi Arabia used to have just oil, they weren't that wealthy as a nation. Well, they were as a nation, but only the monarchy controlled the money, and the people were still suffering. They were basically exporting terrorists because when people don't have a good standard of living, they turn to something else. Poverty always results in crime. We've seen that in the United States, even on a micro level. But what we've seen with Saudi Arabia, they've diversified with their oil money. They've used it to diversify their economy and actually become much more healthy, a much better place to live. And we've seen a plummet in terrorism, a more moderation in the people and their religious beliefs, because they have something to believe in other than just violence and a religion that sometimes, if proselytized in the wrong way, can really export terrorism all over the world. So I'm hoping they'll do something similar to what the monarchy did in Saudi Arabia. By the way, it certainly doesn't have to be a monarchy, and I don't want it to be. But I hope the government's set up that kind of develops an economy, not just based on oil, but uses those oil revenues to build an infrastructure and other products that make them very profitable and diversified so that the nation can thrive. Because when the nation is controlled by a government that's funded by oil and oil only, that means only the people involved in that business are going to benefit. So it's really important to see why Saudi Arabia was successful, because at first they were not, just by having that oil money, but because they built the infrastructure, because they built a diversified economy, that's what sets you up for success. And that's what I hope Venezuela is able to do with our guidance and our friendship.
We could talk all day. Dr. McCormick, thank you for your time. We appreciate you speaking with our audience today.
Love you guys. Hey, you guys are the common reasons that we need to get things done. I love what you guys do. Thanks for fighting for America. This stuff matters. God bless you and Semper Fi.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate your Dr. Rich McCormick on the Morning Xtra. Tug and Los until 10. When we come back, we will explain the meaning of oil is aggression. You heard it yesterday. Now the explanation. Next on Xtra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, January 6th. The fallout from Black Monday continues in the NFL. Here in Atlanta, Greg Beatles has been promoted to the new CEO of the team as Rich McKay reportedly steps away from the football side of management. The Falcons also plan to interview former Browns coach Kevin Stefanski for their open position, along with Dolphins DC Anthony Weaver and Seahawks OC Clint Kubiak. The Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young's management team are reportedly in talks to line out a trade to another NBA team. This from ESPN's Shams Charania. The talks have been called positive and collaborative. On the court, the Hawks lost last night in Toronto to the Raptors 118-110 to 100. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. Glenn Beck is not a client and is paid for his endorsement.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Are home repairs piling up? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Relax. We've got you covered. From drywall dings and leaky faucets to deck repairs and trim replacement, we're your one-stop shop for everything for your home needs. No more juggling multiple contractors. Just call us at the Trusted Toolbox and we'll handle it. Your home deserves the best, and we don't want you breaking your back trying. Call the Trusted Toolbox today at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. The Trusted Toolbox, your one-stop shop for home repairs and more.
Georgia Tech football season tickets are now on sale. Secure your seat in Bobby Dodd Stadium at Hyundai Field to watch head coach Brent Key and the Yellow Jackets take the field in key matchups versus Colorado, Tennessee, and ACC foes. Has a man wide open over the middle, catches the 15, and cruising in for the touchdown. 52 yards, and they made it look easy. Visit RamblinRack.com/tickets to get your tickets today. Sting 'em.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company. Pure Talk.
This is Fox on Justice. The trial begins for one of the first police officers to respond to the 2022 school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Adrian Gonzalez is accused of failing to intervene immediately to stop the gunman. The teenage gunman killed 19 fourth graders and 2 teachers at Robb Elementary School in one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history. Gonzalez, a former Uvalde school police officer, faces 29 counts of child abandonment or endangerment. Nearly 400 officers from state, local, and federal law enforcement agencies responded to the school, but it took 77 minutes from the time authorities got there until a tactical team breached the classroom and killed the shooter. In an active shooter situation, officers are trained to eliminate the threat, but state and federal reviews show officers treated the gunman in a room full of children as a barricaded suspect instead of an active shooter. Gonzalez has pleaded not guilty, and his attorney has said that he tried to save children that day. Brooke Taylor, Fox News.
After historic action in Venezuela, the president will have a lot to balance going forward.
The United States conducted an extraordinary military operation to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice.
From Atlanta to D.C., extra staff of conservative voices will have the latest updates and the news that matters to you without the mainstream spin. This is your only home for conservative news and talk in Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM, and stream us anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app.
Oil is aggression. You heard Los say that a little bit, at least a couple times yesterday. And now we'll discuss it again this morning on Extra 106.3. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms.
I have enjoyed the fallout that has now occurred, whether it's social media or now the media. By and large, people are now starting to figure out what we have been bringing up for weeks. So, awesome. Welcome.
That's right.
We told you the drug boats were a ways in on what was going on. Easily digestible so that Norm and Norma, the people that pay attention a little bit to politics, that was what their focus was on.
Yep.
So when it came up when I was on Christmas break and I had somebody bring up the drug boats, I was like, this is so much bigger than the drug boats. Now you have people that are starting to figure out, wait a minute, if we are really implementing the Monroe, or what was it? The Donroe Doctrine of controlling the interests of our hemisphere, part of that is also our energy. And
100%.
And when you look at what has gone on, like one of the other idiotic things that I saw was, well, I mean, look what we're doing. Why, if we wanted to pressure the Russians, why don't we do it in Ukraine? Because Ukraine ain't in our backyard, baby.
That's right. We're cutting off the supplies that they have of energy that they need. Same way with China.
The Venezuelans have been selling cheap oil in order to prop up the interest, largely aggression for the Chinese, for the Iranians, obviously for the Russians. Now that you are basically sitting on Saudi Arabian style reserves, you're the one who gets to dictate, hey, all that oil that you need for your aggression when it comes to Taiwan in order to run all your operations in the South China Sea, got to pay market now, baby.
70% of the oil that China uses comes from Venezuela.
So this is resetting the game.
Totally resetting it.
Resetting the game entirely. If you want to tell the Russians, listen, you don't have enough for what your operations are going to be in Ukraine. In fact, we'll send more stuff to Ukraine. We'll send them more oil. Not going to send them any more men. Not going to send them any of that sort of stuff. But if you want to have a geopolitical global influence, control the energy, you get to control what's going on.
Hands down, full stop.
Simple.
He's exactly right. Think about the why Donald Trump has re-energized traditional energy in America. He knows that data centers, because of AI, are going to use incredible amounts of energy that we must provide. We have to. It ain't coming from solar. It ain't coming from wind. It's a traditional energy. Guess what the Chinese want to do? Build huge data centers and lead in AI.
And let's look at the tentacles of this. Part of the reason why Putin was able to conduct the operations that he was in Ukraine is that the United States government under Joe Biden and this administration, because of their energy policies, we ended up creating a marketplace in which the barrel of oil went up significantly. The Russians made a lot more money on Russian oil. They were able to then conduct their warfare because of it. If you, and this is one of the big ideas of getting that Venezuelan oil into the marketplace, if it drives down the cost of energy even further, like look at what the price of a barrel is now versus what it was in, let's say, 2022. If you see the difference there, it also grinds the war machines around the world to a halt.
Totally does.
And by the way, it makes your groceries cheaper too.
Absolutely. And the other thing, the people that say, well, it's all about oil, we're just taking the oil. I don't know if you've noticed that gas prices have been in free fall lately. I don't think people recognize or realize yet that we don't need their oil. We have plenty in America. We have plenty. And that the oil in Venezuela actually is very thick, and it has to be refined here in the United States.
Yeah, especially processed.
It's right, because we our oil companies built years ago special refineries down in I believe in Louisiana, and that's where all that stuff is done. So it's coming through America anyway. All that the people are like, oh, it's all about gas prices. Gas prices are already low, man. Ain't nothing to do with that.
Now let's talk about that war machine, because again, oil is aggression. If you got it, you can do stuff. If you don't got it, well, sorry, you're not going to have that much of a global influence.
That's right.
Those big ships, if they're not nuclear powered, they require a whole lot of fuel.
And very few are.
Very much so. So how about this? Your price of a barrel of oil right now is at about $50 and looks like it's going to head closer to like $40 to $38.
And the Russians are fretting.
In 2022, the price of a barrel of oil, whether it was Russian oil or any other oil, was $95 to $100. You have economically cut the legs of the war machine out. This is so much deeper than just, well, you did it for oil. Well, why are we hitting these drug boats? You're just poor fishermen. That's the easy stuff the media comes up with.
What's the lazy stuff?
Part of the reason why you're here, why you check out this show, we go a lot deeper. We give you a lot more insight into what's going on. Again, you can bring this up. Price of a barrel of oil in 2022, $95 to $100. It's heading for $40 to $38. But we've already cut the price of it in half in the span of a little bit over 3 years. That slows down the war machines around the world.
Absolutely right. Dude, those other countries are thinking, oh my goodness, what are we going to do? How are we going to recoup this? Because we need that Venezuelan oil.
Because you might be saying to yourself economically, well, that means they can afford more oil. Well, no, they're running their war based off the profits from oil.
That's right. That's exactly right. And Donald Trump has just taken that away from them. And you think about the other things, man. The BRICS nations that want to use oil, they wanted to use that to back their currency, to dethrone the dollar. That throws that into complete jeopardy.
By the time we got into March 22, and this is now the Russians are in Ukraine, the price of a barrel had gone to $130. And at the time, the teachers' lounge, the Biden administration's going like, well, why do they have this money to do this? Well, you started it on day one when you started going after American energy. Yes, but we were producing as much as, we were still producing a ton. The problem is we could have been producing even more. Oil and gas is speculation. If it looks like there's going to be a ton more in the marketplace, prices don't skyrocket, no matter what happens around the world.
That's right.
And here we are, going to be looking at about $40 a barrel versus $130 that allowed the Russians to do what they were doing in Ukraine.
It's amazing. It's amazing to see the long game. And I heard Glenn Beck say this yesterday. He was like, going to Venezuela was the most America first thing that you could possibly do. And your explanation that you just laid out echoes what he said yesterday.
At some point, we will nerd out on just the operation as a whole.
Yeah, because it's cool.
I couldn't stop listening to whether it was Pete Hegseth or Raisin Kane, them talking about the actions of what was conducted and what was done.
150 aircraft.
Dude.
And my favorite part, Jure, was Pete Hegseth saying, and the Venezuelans, they were armed with those Russian missile defense systems. How'd that work out for them? That's the shot across the bow of
course it is.
Hey guys, whatever you think you got, ours is better.
Spent $2 million, borrowed $2 billion. Something tells me the Russians aren't seeing that money.
No, they're
not getting it back.
They're not going to get reimbursed.
Sorry about it.
And you know what? If you're, it'd be like if you bought a new car and the engine went out, you'd probably want, your money back
Listen,
anyway.
I look at it like this. Am I some sort of enemy of Russia? I mean, I have been called an ally of Putin, right? That one's been thrown around a bunch. Oh, you Putin backer.
I saw that on Twitter.
I have pointed out a number of times that he's the only other nationalist in this world, along with Donald Trump, as the people that are sitting on the world stage. I am not an enemy of Russia, nor am I an enemy of Ukraine. What I am interested in is how do you promote safety, security, and peace around the world? And sometimes it's by taking the toy away.
That's exactly right, dude.
The kids are fighting over the toy. You take away the toy.
Sometimes you got to blow some mess up.
Sometimes you got to blow some mess up. We're really good at it. And if we want to get Vladimir to go along with what we're trying to do, sometimes you got to go ahead and take away his ability to wage war.
Take away those dollar bills. And all of a sudden, he's like, well, we can't afford to do this. China, can you help us? Oh, no, y'all are broke too?
Now we're a little busy over here.
Yeah,
we got these air defense systems over here.
They don't work. We're retooling these things.
Buy one, get one free.
Love it.
The Cubans are like, we'll take two. When we come back, on the left, politics and power mean everything. 6 o'clock hours brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett.
Xtra 106.3 is the only station in Atlanta to bring you the legend Neil Vortz, a live and local news talk show on your ride in, and the Kimmer Show every afternoon. Be here at 3 for the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, only on Xtra 106.3 and the Xtra app.
Hey Atlanta, it's Mark from Atlanta Safe House. It's 2026 and it's going to be a great year. So let's start the year off with a quiz. So what's the difference in a criminal and a socialist Democrat? Well, a criminal wants to steal your stuff, but a socialist Democrat wants to steal your freedom. So let's talk about safes. The Atlanta Safe House has the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Brands like Browning, Champion, and Fort Knox. With over 500 safes in stock, we are the place to buy a safe. So come by the showroom or go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Ain't nothing beats the cozy comfort of a warm fireplace on a cool Georgia night. Tug here for Chimney Solutions. But before you light that fire, make sure the chimney's clean, safe, and ready with my friends at Chimney Solutions. Did you know that a dirty and damaged chimney could lead to dangerous carbon monoxide leaks or even chimney fires? Don't take that chance. Chimney Solutions certified technicians use state-of-the-art equipment to ensure your home and family are protected. Chimney Solutions, keeping Georgia homes safe, warm, and beautiful for over 25 years.
Oh no, what is that sound?
It's our rejection detection system. It's showing that several men across Georgia are being denied intimacy by their partners due to ED.
How can this be?
Well, it's more common than you think. As men age, their bodies change. And unfortunately, once they get over 50, some things don't work like they used to.
So what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. We need to get them to Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. He can fix ED problems.
But how?
At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, they are experts in the P-shot, testosterone testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, and Trimex to create an erection and more.
Hi, this is Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 struggle with some form of ED? Guys, it won't get better on its own. When it's not hard, it's really hard. But I can help you today. Call us at Total Body Therapy of Georgia at 404-777-1911 or learn more about us online at tbtofga.com.
Securing America.
I state your name. I, Tom Brady. Do solemnly swear.
On Monday, War Secretary Pete Hegseth personally swore in some new military recruits in Newport News, Virginia, welcoming them to their new paths.
You are about to enter a fraternity, a brotherhood of arms, of American warriors willing to serve our country.
And giving them a little insight about what is immediately ahead.
You're about to go to basic where you will be forged. You will be torn down and built back up. And our job is that when you come out of that process, to ensure you are trained, ready, accountable, disciplined, and lethal in the service of your job.
The Secretary closed his remarks by telling the new recruits,
Godspeed and good luck. I know you'll make our nation proud.
All of the individual military branches surpassed their recruiting goals last year. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Streaming across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Extra 106.3.
The captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife. Fox's Gernal Scott has more.
House Speaker Mike Johnson said it was all justified.
This is not a regime change. This is a demand for change of behavior by a regime.
But the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, says he still has more questions than answers, describing any plan to run Venezuela as
vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying.
All House lawmakers and senators will get a briefing tomorrow. Maduro remains jailed in Brooklyn, New York, the morning after, as Fox's Madeline Rivera reports, he pleaded not guilty to narco-terrorism, drug and weapons charges in federal court.
Saying, my name is President Nicolas Maduro Moros, president of Venezuela. I am here kidnapped. I was captured at my home in Caracas, Venezuela. I am innocent. I am not guilty. I am a decent human. But Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Maduros are responsible for many deaths and should face justice.
We know that this monster released countless defendants, prisons, insane asylums into our country. It's not just about drugs.
Ukraine's president has just arrived in Paris for a meeting between the U.S. and our allies trying to stop Russia's war, focused on security guarantees for Ukraine that American ambassador to NATO Matt Whitaker tells Fox
frees up the Ukrainians and President Zelensky to go and make the final deal as part of the 20-point plan with Russia. And so, you know, we're really very far down the road.
Opening statements will be this morning in Texas in the first trial after the 2022 massacre at Uvalde Elementary School. Former school police officer Adrian Gonzalez charged with child endangerment and abandonment. It took law enforcement over an hour to breach the classroom to finally kill the gunman who had murdered 19 students and 2 teachers. America's listening to Fox News.
Welcome to the most wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, scream in terror, and start looking for new ways to save money. If that's you, why not cut your wireless bill in half with a saver plan from Pure Talk? You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super fast 5G network for just $20 a month. Ho, ho, ho. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you switch in minutes. Again, talk, text, and data for just $20 a month.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
You may know Bortz is back, but not everyone else does. Tell anyone who loves America, Bortz is back on the radio in Atlanta, and his new home is Extra 106.3. Listen to him now on the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug and Los until 10. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you being part of the Morning Extra. This radio station really is all about you. Everything that we do is focused on you and getting you the best information that is available. and usually presenting it in a fashion that you will not hear anywhere else. Download the app so you can listen live and on demand. And, if anything you missed the last hour, you go just pick it up. Let's do it there. Be a member of the 4-Hour Club. That seems to be the thing to do these days. So I hear.
All the cool kids.
That's exactly. With the pumped up kicks.
Right. I'm not one of the cool kids, but I'm here.
Yes, that's right. You're here for the 4 hours.
That's right.
You're just part of the 4-Hour Club by default.
I like to view myself not as a captain, but I'm more along the lines of I'm just here to man the rigging.
Okay. All
okay.
Right.
Like I'm just part of the vessel, and we're just moving along.
That's right.
We're all in this together.
We're part of the sea and anchor detail, getting us
That's right.
in and out of port.
I was like, I'm here to lose a leg and hopefully just stay at sea.
There you go.
Don't get scurvy.
That's right.
Do not.
Watch out for that scurvy.
Yesterday, and we learned if you missed that, you go back and listen to it on the app. But
search scurvy.
Search scurvy. That's right. When you get on the app, do a search for scurvy, and make sure you eat oranges.
Have an orange.
Neil Bort's a little under the weather. He just emailed me and said, "Hey, man, I'm in, but I may cough and spit and sputter, but I'm in to be on the show." So that's good news. He comes up in about 20 minutes.
Not that I concerned about this stuff outside of when we get together into big groups. So there apparently is like a pretty good version of the flu that's been moving around.
Oh, yeah.
And now I don't know anything about this because for the most part, I feel like I'm impenetrable to things. Like I don't wash my hands after I use the restroom, and I swim in raw sewage. So like for the most part, I'm like I don't get anything. Not very often, but every single time that we have had when it's come to our volleyball teams, every single the last like 3 weeks when they're in like a mass group at a tournament, like half the team goes down to the flu like the next week.
That's not good.
So I'm
delayed Christmas this year. Both my parents got sick, and I thought it was interesting. My mom, she actually had to go get a chest X-ray, and they're fine now.
Good news.
We delayed Christmas till last Saturday, but she said it was interesting. They didn't test her for COVID or the flu. They didn't test her for either one. She didn't ask to be tested, but they didn't even recommend it.
It wasn't even a consideration.
I think they're sick of people saying, get that away from me.
Yeah.
Because I know they were talking about it on Kimmer's show yesterday about the amount of people that had gotten ill. They were all tied into Flounder. My across the street neighbors, they have their grandchildren in town, and they talked about how the entire house, except for one person, all had the same thing. And they didn't go outside for like 4 days. So now they're out and about in the cul-de-sac and having a good time. They're like, it's so good to be outside.
Yeah, finally be outside. Because our family, we had some nieces and nephews end up with the flu and that sort of thing, and brother-in-law and sister-in-law. But it did not, thankfully, hit our house. We're much like you, man. We don't get sick a lot at our house. And fortunate, we're just blessed that is the case.
So I'm waiting for this weekend. Got to get through this first tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we play Little Big South the next week here in Atlanta. And so at some point,
Atlanta.
Between Alabama and Atlanta, somebody getting the flu.
It's just destined.
Just what's going to happen. So many people.
Destined to happen. It's like fraud in big cities, really. Well, it's destined to happen.
Quite honestly, once you've already paid for a volleyball season, and you've booked the hotel and everything else that goes along with it, it's really hard to stay home.
Yeah, it is.
Like there's a lot of players they'll mask it somehow.
Yeah.
They'll get a saline bag and they'll get out there and play.
Absolutely.
And all right, why should keep coughing?
Oh, yeah, because you got that funk, as we like to call it.
I'm not concerned about this stuff. I just know this is what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks.
Dude, it's the way it spreads, man.
So
it is.
Hopefully Neil starts feeling better and stay away from those young volleyball tournaments, Neil. Those girls are carrying all sorts of varmin.
Yeah, no kidding. It's just the way kids do it, man. They pass it off like it's the latest trend. Here, you take it. No, you take it. I'll take it. You got it? I'll take it. It's crazy. Politics is everything for those on the left, and if you've not noticed, they are not afraid to make politics the center of their universe, whether it is with the fraud that's going on. Oh, it's white supremacy. Or kicking Tim Walz to the curb. I mean, there's so many examples of it out there.
You don't understand. Home ownership is white supremacy.
That's right.
Showing up on time is white supremacy. How many things could possibly be white supremacy?
But that's what was at the Smithsonian, if you remember.
Yes, that was the instructions of DEI. So there was an article in The Atlantic that was posted yesterday. And I can say this with all honesty. Tug and I are all about this game. But when the mics turn off at 10 o'clock, I don't think that I say anything that has to do with politics around anyone you got to come and ask me.
Yeah.
I'm not running around. I can't wait to go to good old days and tell you about what the problems are for Tim Walz. Okay? This is not how I operate. It's not on my mind all the time.
Same.
And I've thought about it. If our ownership was somehow our ownership is generally just apolitical, but if it was suddenly, hey, they're hardcore leftists, you know what I would do? Nothing. I'd be like, all right, same thing with my boss. Okay, cool. But it doesn't change one thing that I think. The Atlantic had this article, and it was building off an Axios poll from 2021. And in that poll from Axios, they had asked college students a number of questions. First off, 71% of college students who are Democrats said that they wouldn't date a Republican. And Republicans are hot, man.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I don't know if you've noticed.
You've noticed, but 7 out of 10 of you, I wouldn't do that. It's like, okay, I guess that's pretty strong.
And you wonder why those Democrat women are so lonely.
Right. Whereas only 31% of Republicans said that they would hold that against somebody they would possibly date. And so this was building off of that. Here's what the updated numbers are. 41% of Democrat college students would not support a Republican-run business. 37% said they would not be friends with a Republican.
Nuts.
30% say they would not work for one. All right, here's the numbers on the Republican side. 7% of Republican college students said they would not support a Democrat-run business. 7%.
7%.
Versus
extreme minority.
How about when it comes to being friends? 5%.
And that's from 37? Didn't you say 37% of Democrats?
And the last number, 7% said they wouldn't want to work for one, where it's 30% of Democrats. So if you want to understand why everything with Aunt Peg and her ilk is always political,
everything,
it's because they can't see the world through any other construct.
That's the lens, dude. It's like binoculars for them, man.
40% of respondents.
They're just always looking for, and they're always looking for it, though. They're looking for something to be political about. They're looking for something to be angry about, and that usually comes through some sort of political belief that they have.
And by the way, the story in the Atlantic, and you're going to have to use a paywall remover in order to see it. They might make it free in a day or two. We'll just see.
Paywall.com.
That always helps. Wink. One of the things that you're going to find in the article is pointing out about how diversity was destroying the workplace. Diversity for the sake of diversity. Because invariably, when people start to have issues, let's say I didn't hit my sales in a particular, this quarter I came up 5% short, and my boss comes to me. If I happen to be a minority, it's very easy to say, well, you're only doing that because I'm a minority. It's like, no, it's just numbers, just data. Oh, no, that's what I feel like. And now it creates weird factions. And it turns into this mindset of I'm using this diversity as a crutch to protect myself.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the gist of the story. It's not just about here's how they view things.
It's like screaming racism.
Right.
For everything.
Why do you think I spent the better part of 4 years during the Biden administration saying that I was a black lesbian?
Yeah, because you automatically got protection.
I was saying a lot of wild things, man.
Yeah.
I had to protect myself.
That's right.
You can't go after me and my truth.
Don't you know I check all these boxes?
Listen, I got all these boxes. Just because you don't like what I say about what's going on.
I got no boxes.
I know. I told you it was open season on Christian white men.
With blue eyes?
Yeah, veterans. Oh, no. You were in trouble, dude.
Blue eyes? Oh, my heavens.
But that's the story. And the numbers, when you start going through it, the mentality even from 2021, from the Axios study to what the Atlantic has not changed. Dating, employment, these things that do not matter to us means everything to them.
That's right.
And by significant numbers.
And that's the foundation of everything that they do, they think, they say. How do we look at it through a political lens? Because politics and power mean more than anything else, because they will cut off their family. They will obviously break up with someone. They will quit a job or join a company just because of their politics.
And I do believe, and this is what I had to say when it came to after my post-Christmas break, because I was around a lot of people that obviously don't see things the way I do.
Yeah.
And yet I've known them for 20, 25 years. And as long as we weren't talking politics, everything was fun and cordial. Now, when it got to politics, here's the problem they ran into. Man, he knows a lot more than what I was told.
Yeah, right. He hit the buzzsaw.
It was based on, I've been told this. I think oftentimes we see this now. For instance, we see this now with Bill Maher. We saw this with Cheryl Hines. With
Joe Rogan.
They have talked about how, why are these the people, notably conservatives, that will show up and talk about anything, but the liberal end will not and will disparage you if you ask them a question.
Because they have nothing to back up what they're saying with.
So when you meet this great person, according to this study, and you find out, well, they're liberal. Listen, I already had that happen. I married her. Been married for 20 years. All right, clearly she wasn't part of the 40% that looked at me and went, whoa, I can't do that.
Yeah.
But there's 40% of her brethren, her sisters, that are like, you can't be with a guy like that.
There's a reason they're liberal cat ladies.
He's a white racist nationalist. Well, okay, named Carlos Medina. Well, that's going to be a tough one to do. But again, the blanket statement applies.
No, of course.
No matter what.
Because you're the minority face of white supremacy.
That's a new one, right? I was not aware of this.
Now you do.
I remember it was when they were going at that with, like, the Kash Patels of the world.
Yeah.
Or even on The View when they were saying that, well, J.D. Vance, his tendency towards racism. It's like, psst, his wife is Indian in descent.
That's right. And they have children.
His kids are half Indian.
That's right.
And they're like, dang it, what do we do now?
But if you remember on social media, well, he's going to leave her.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was there. It was laughable, but you saw it populating on social media.
Because, again, 40% of them, at least the college level moving forward, would never consider even dating someone that has different political views.
So, in their mind, of course he has to leave her.
Of course, right.
Why would he not?
She's brown.
That's right.
They can't possibly have this happen.
Those things don't go together.
Because mentally they cannot fathom it.
That's exactly right, dude. It's a sad place to be, but we've all seen it. There's a reason there are liberal cat ladies out there that will never be married. And that's not disparaging people that don't get married. There's plenty of people that don't get married for plenty of reasons. But the ones that want to, and you see it all, these videos, I'm always attracted to the conservative guy and I hate it. You see those out there, and it's funny because they will never find anyone because they can't even accept themselves usually.
I would hate to point this out to women because I'm not a woman. I do deal with them on a pretty regular basis.
You got 3 in your house.
I run the house. But women do have an attraction towards, and it's not just about, size and strength and everything. It's about stability. And when you have someone who's squared away, you are like, oh, as a woman, like, I gotta find out that number. Like, we got to get this thing going. Well, the problem is that when you then find out that person's conservative, part of the reason they might be so stable and might be so successful is because they believe in capitalistic ideas and hard work and showing up and all the things that DEI tells you is white supremacy.
Yeah.
And now you're the one with the problem of having to figure out, this one's the catch.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with his politics.
I can't. I just can't
and
bring myself to
my
do it.
next question is, well, how important is your politics to you?
Well, they're married to it. I know that because my dear Aunt Peg, she can't do anything. She can't function
without
politics because everything goes through that lens. I want to play you a quick piece of audio. U.S. Ambassador Mike Walls just told the world what we did and why we did it in regards to Maduro. Listen to this.
This law enforcement action was directed consistent with the President of the United States' responsibility as Commander-in-Chief to protect Americans at home and abroad against a fugitive who is directly responsible for narcoterrorism that has killed hundreds of thousands of Americans and created destabilizing violence throughout our hemisphere. Nicolas Maduro and his co-defendant, Celia Flores, have been transferred here to the United States to stand trial for their crimes. Maduro was indicted by a grand jury in the Southern District of New York and faces very serious criminal charges for his involvement in a wide-ranging conspiracy to conduct narcoterrorism, to traffic cocaine and other drugs, and conducting international weapons trafficking. The overwhelming evidence of his crimes will be presented openly in U.S. court proceedings. Colleagues, Maduro is not just an indicted drug trafficker. He was an illegitimate so-called president. He was not a head of state. For years, Maduro and his cronies have manipulated Venezuela's electoral system to maintain their illegitimate grip on power. In fact, just 2 years ago in 2024, a UN panel of experts report found that the election in that year was absolutely and completely a farce and fell well short of the most basic transparency and integrity measures essential to upholding credible elections.
Dude, using the UN's own words against them is the most glorious thing that I think I've heard with this quite up until this point. 50 nations didn't recognize him as the president. He got rich from drugs and partnering with Iran and other countries. We went through it in the last hour. If you missed it, you can go back and listen to it on the app and the reasoning. Taking the reins from Maduro and stopping Iran and China and countries like that from using embargoed oil to fund their war machines. There's so many reasons that this has happened. And Mike Waltz, he went on for another 10 minutes. That was just a small smidge of what he did when he laid down the law to the UN.
I love that.
Me too, dude. Just the fact that the UN had to sit there and listen because, the UN had their grand statement about how they were very concerned about Trump and international law. International law means nothing. It means when you're a big country and you have the ability to do what you need to do, you go do it. That's what it means. I forget who said it, but somebody in the administration said the UN charter, that deserves to be at the bottom of a bird cage because it's nothing more than waste paper. I love the fact
at this point
that they went in front of the UN and told them, we don't care what you think. Because I don't care what the UN thinks. I have no respect for it. I wish they would move it out of New York. That property's got to be worth something.
The UN has spent more time over the last 5 years trying to drag us into their own conflicts and their own business.
That's exactly right.
Nope.
And they do everything to undermine the United States. I wish they were out of New York. I mean, 404-741-1230 if you agree with that, because I wish we would leave the UN. I wish we'd get out of NATO. That's just me, personally. But it's funny, as we used to drive to Charleston, there's a little town called North South Carolina, and there was a sign. It was handmade and hand-painted. It said, "Get us out of the UN." It may just be me and that guy, but get us out of the UN. What a waste of time. Love to know what Neil Bortz thinks about it. We will ask him next as the Talkmaster joins us on Extra 106.3.
Stream Atlanta's only conservative voice anywhere you go with the Extra 106.3 app. Now equipped with Apple CarPlay. That means you'll always have Extra's crystal clear HD stream right on your dashboard no matter where you are. Download the all-new Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Braves fans, get ready because Braves Fest is back on January 31st, presented by Delta. And there's a great lineup of events and activities for everyone to enjoy. This free Fan Fest includes returning fan favorites like player photo ops, catch on the field, the Braves fashion show, bowling with the Braves, and more. And fans can enjoy new additions like the player walk and rally to lead off the day, Braves country karaoke, live podcast recordings, and the list goes on. Plus, on January 7th, fans will be able to purchase player autograph sessions. And on Friday, January 13th, dust off your denim and diamonds and join the Braves for the Braves Fest Country Gala, presented by Truist. This high-energy rodeo night benefits the Atlanta Braves Foundation and offers exclusive access to your Braves players. Cowboys and cowgirls can brand their own hats, enjoy live music and line dancing, and so much more. Visit Braves.com/BravesFest to learn more. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Of all the radio ads I've ever done, I only advertised one thing that I think saved my life. My CPAP machine. Sleep apnea. And I found the best CPAP dealer out there ever. Roddy at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. CPAPsETC.com. Everything you need, all the supplies, shipped anywhere at a price that often beats insurance. CPAPsETC.com. Go take a peek now.
Fox on Tech.
The makers of ChatGPT are facing a wrongful death lawsuit. Stein Eric Solberg of Connecticut murdered his mother, 83-year-old Suzanne Eberson Adams, before taking his own life. Now her estate is suing OpenAI, CEO Sam Altman, and Microsoft for wrongful death. Because Solberg spent months talking to ChatGPT, and lawyers are arguing it not only encouraged his paranoid delusions, it furthered them. Solberg posted hours of videos on YouTube and Instagram showing his chat logs. Eric gets suspicious that a Coke can and other innocent items are evidence he's being targeted. ChatGPT confirms those suspicions, telling him, quote, "You caught them. That can was a custom printed bullet." We reached out to OpenAI, and they said in response, in part, quote, "This is an incredibly heartbreaking situation, and we will review the filings to understand the details." For Fox on Tech, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, January 6th. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens was sworn in for his second term Monday at Georgia State University's Convocation Hall. Dickens outlined his focus for the next 4 years around progress on public safety, affordable housing, and city services. 2 Democratic state lawmakers are stepping down from their seats. Stone Mountain Representative Karen Bennett resigned effective January 1st after 13 years, while Augusta Representative Lynn Hefner stepped down Monday, citing severe Hurricane Helene damage that left her unable to live in her district. The next session begins January 12th. Governor Kemp is expected to call special elections to fill both seats. Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park has closed the mountain road to private vehicles to reduce congestion and improve visitor safety. Shuttles, bicyclists, and pedestrians will still have access as the park makes road and summit upgrades. And the Braves will host free all-day Braves Fest at the Battery on Saturday, January 31st. The fest features fan activities, entertainment, and player interactions ahead of the 2026 season. Paid autograph sessions go on sale this week. All proceeds benefit the Atlanta Braves Foundation. Today's weather, mostly cloudy with a high of 65. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 with Neil Bortz, the talk master. The only place you can hear Neil is on Extra 106.3. Neil, how was the holiday season? We didn't get to talk to you much.
Well, I was here.
Well, I know, but we weren't.
I know you weren't.
Yeah.
So I spent an hour plus with Kimmer.
I heard about that. How'd it go?
Well, fine.
Okay, good.
Well, he's a skinny little runt, isn't he?
He's not using Ozempic.
So, howdy. I've got my Barry White voice going today.
It sounds
yes,
nice,
you do.
though.
You sound deep and very strong and masculine.
You never
Sexy.
know. Yeah.
Sexy Neil Bortz joining us on the Morning Extra.
I'm about as sexy as an olive with its pimento hanging out.
Oh no! Goodness gracious! But
but I'm gonna cough every once in a while like this.
This just happens. We're willing to tolerate that just to be able to spend some time with you.
This has been nasty.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit. A lot of people dealing with the flu. There's some sort of nasty strain that's going around.
Well, now I'm the worst husband because Donna had followed through on it. and has it too. Yeah, it's probably a good thing that I wasn't on with you last Tuesday because I was just ranting. I mean, I was so ticked off.
About what?
Well, the media just will not, by God, do its job. And I'm talking about this situation that happened at Atlantic Station. And you know what? The who, what, when, where, why thing, journalism. Are you all still?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, we're here.
Yeah. You're still with me. But anyway, the media has an obligation, a professional obligation to fill in the blanks for the people. Who, what, when, where, why. And these teens, all we got out of the newspaper is these groups of teens. We're 400 or 500 deep in Atlantic Station, causing all sorts of hell. And damn it, what kind of teens were they? And you're a racist and all this nonsense. No, it was a feral gang of black teenagers, and the people need to know. I mean, they need to understand that this wanton violence, a lot of these mass shopliftings, these riots, these are young black people, and it's not because of the amount of light that they reflect. It is because of the culture in which they are raised and the culture they embrace and the culture they promote. You see, that's... You got me ranting on it. That's what I was going to do last week. But
coming out of the gate strong, Publix has left Atlantic Station. There's a some sort of online, petition to get Trader Joe's to jump in. And you're thinking,
Trader Joe's.
You're thinking, who in the world?
Well, maybe Whole Foods.
Yeah, there ain't nobody who's going to fill that void?
Listen,
let's get a Nordstrom rack in there at the same time.
I like Atlantic Station when they have events. Like, for instance, when they had the AVP tour, the professional volleyball tour that would come through, when they've had tennis or when they've had CERT come through.
Come on, you like professional volleyball because those short panties.
Well, of course, that's
girls wear.
Listen, that's part of it too, Neil. Wink, wink. But I've always thought it was a cool event place, but I wouldn't ever want to live there.
Mm-mm. Well, I had a good friend when it was opening. I'm on the air, of course. I'm the enemy of all good things in Atlanta, and I'm on the air saying, folks, this Atlantic Station is not going to work. It's going to be a bad deal. And why you say that? Because the city of Atlanta has deemed it important to mandate that there be low income and Section 8 housing in Atlantic Station. Oh, that's like during the plague, you mandate that a rat has to be thrown into any large gathering of people. There was no doubt it was going to fail at that point. This friend of mine moved in. It was an apartment, not a condo. And 3-4 days after she moved in, she encountered drug dealing in the hallways outside of her apartment.
No. Say it's not so.
Oh, it's so.
Hit him with the bare
And at that point, she just notices, uninhabitable, I'm leaving, you've got 30 days. And she pulled out of there. And I remember there was a Fox sports bar or something there when it first opened. Great place to go for lunch. We came from the radio station. We had lunch there all the time. And then gradually the demeanor of the people at that restaurant changed a little bit, and we stopped going. That's the movie theater where I saw Borat.
Uh-oh.
I don't know that I'd go to that movie. Is the movie theater still there?
I believe it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
What are they showing reruns of Black Panther?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't tell you the last time I went to a movie theater, any movie theater for that matter.
I can.
When did you go? What'd you see?
The last Tom Cruise movie, because I wanted to experience the, the X-Max or...
IMAX?
IMAX.
Was it Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah.
Yeah, same one. Same here. That's the last movie I saw in the theater.
No, it was a Mission Impossible.
Oh, Mission Impossible. Okay.
Yeah, and what it was I think it was about an hour and a half long, and 45 minutes of that was Tom Cruise doing stunts, and the other 45 minutes of it was some sort of a unexplainable storyline.
Well, if he doesn't do stunts,
what's the point?
Then the moviegoer is going to be very upset.
That's all it was. But that's the last time I've been to a movie. Who needs movie theaters now, really?
You know what I've turned it into? When I've got to get them out of the house and we've got to figure out something to do for a few hours, that's what we typically do. But that's pretty much the only way you can get me into a movie theater these days.
That and popcorn. I do like movie theater popcorn.
I'm betting that at least one of you were a part of the midnight crowd for the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I never have. I never have either. But I remember when I was in the Navy in downtown.
It's a different time.
Yeah.
Like when I grew up in San Antonio, that was a really weird area for Rocky Horror. Whereas my friends that grew up in Dallas, it was pretty mainstream because of where that theater was located that would do it.
Yeah, I've never seen the movie myself, so
I've never seen the movie.
Nor have I.
What's the first movie you ever saw?
The first one I remember seeing, at least in a theater, was E.T.
I remember Gremlins when I was a kid.
I liked Gremlins. I wanted one.
So good. Oh yeah, no kidding, dude. How do we make that work?
Well, you don't give it a bath, first of all.
That's right.
That's true.
Or feed it after midnight.
Which, I fit right into that culture.
Exactly.
What, the non-bathing culture?
Yeah. Neil Bortz has his own instructions that comes along with him.
So the Queen, she got a little pamphlet.
It's like no gummies after midnight. Breakfast before 11.
A big spray bottle of Febreze, you'd be amazed what you can get away with.
That's great. That's so great. Yeah.
But my first movie was, believe it, God, I'm old. Sabrina.
Wow. Yeah, that is a throwback.
Yeah, that is.
My dad took me to see RoboCop. That kind of messed me up for a while.
That's where you gave up your dreams of law enforcement?
I think so. I think the moment where his arm gets shot off by the drug dealers, I was like, Dad, this is a lot for an 8-year-old.
Looking back, you're like, that's awesome. I'm glad my dad. The one that scared me to death, Loth, was my dad took me to Friday the 13th. I was crying within the first 9 minutes, and he had to take me home. He was so pissed.
I don't like the only horror movie I ever, if you want to call it that, and I don't know if it fits the genre, was Poltergeist.
Okay, that movie I think is extremely well done. It's extremely creepy, and this is the difference. And I think that when you talk about the genre, Neil,
and who's that female star of Poltergeist?
Oh, I'll look her up. I can't remember.
But it's a different genre, and I would say that it's your generation that gave us this. You gave us the teen slasher movies.
Blame it on me.
But it never existed until basically into the 80s. And then it turned into we can get teenagers to go to movie theaters to watch them be butchered. And that ended up being like what you did on a Friday night with your friends, whereas Poltergeist is like psychological, crazy, scary thriller. With by the way, without butchering any teenagers.
Yeah, Heather O'Rourke is the kid
that's the kid.
Yeah, they're here. That one.
Who's mommy?
Oh, I'll look it up. Stand by. I'll have to look it up because I don't know.
What made you think I was interested in Heather O'Rourke?
I don't know. I just did Google.
I don't believe she's with us any longer.
I just Google searched. Yeah, I just Google searched the main star of female star of Poltergeist.
I don't think that Zelda Rubinstein was the one that was doing it for.
She's not an actress either.
What is she?
She's a troll, is what she is.
That's true.
Is that the one that
small lady who shows up? Yes.
Creepy.
So okay. Anyway, to wrap up the teens at Atlantic Station and elsewhere, it's analogous. Is what's the word? To Somalia. I mean, they wouldn't report on the Somalian fraud going on in Minnesota because we'll get caught. We'll be called racist.
Yep.
So now the media can't talk about feral mobs of young black males because we can't. We'll just call them teens, or they're going to call us racist.
Was there ever a time, Neil, where at least locally, the newspaper was more down the line straight reporting? Because in my opinion, what has now gone on, especially with the death in the newspaper industry, you now have factions where it's basically a fan site. It's I've got a limited amount of subscribers. I have to tell my subscribers a story they want to hear, not the actual news.
Yeah. We gotta make them come to this newspaper because we mirror their attitudes and opinions.
Yes,
and we reinforce their worldview. That's not what newspapers are supposed to do. And what are you talking about, Bert? You're a talk show host. Well, my minor was journalism, so there you go.
What do you think about this, though, the whole Minnesota fraud? Now Tim Walz stepping away. He's, his usefulness has run out. But I expect that this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to fraud in every city around the country, big and small.
Where else did this kind of fraud happen? Not that it was taxpayer-funded fraud, but fraud, and that's in the exalted Pulitzer, Nobel, whatever prize-winning Black Lives Matter movement, where these people scammed all this money from corporations and then went out and bought themselves multi-million-dollar mansions.
And all the money disappeared.
And they're driving Lamborghinis. And nobody wants to really report. That would be racist. God, do anything to avoid being called a racist.
Well, and I'll tell you, here's where things are changing. This is the good part. To think that as somebody who was a vice presidential candidate a year ago, who was the nearly three-time governor of Minnesota, was taken down by a 23-year-old journalist from YouTube.
Yeah, now, the left is after that journalist from YouTube.
Sure.
I mean, he is the story now. He needs to be brought down. He needs to be bullwhipped on Main Street because he dared to report and bring this, well, what he really did was he exposed us for being the frauds that we are, so we're going to destroy him.
Yeah, Nick Shirley, with a 40-minute video on YouTube, took down a governor of a state and a former VP candidate.
Well, there's your influence.
There's your news. Like, again, the newspaper industry's dead and buried. That's what it's going to be. It's now about that free flow of information and looking at what it is in the future. There's a reason why social media, you've had so many of these leftists look to neutralize or to make it a point to not let information get out there because it would jeopardize their scams.
Yeah, the media has to support our viewpoint.
Now
if it doesn't, we're gonna destroy it.
And now you got Georgia Democrat State Representative Karen Bennett. She's federally indicted for fraud. She's a Democrat here in Georgia. She was a supporter of Black Lives Matter and defund the police activist. She is the second lawmaker charged with defrauding taxpayers in the last month. The Democrat Party, that's it right there.
Now, I'm going to guess, I know she is because I've seen the story, seen the pictures. She's black.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you'll never know that if you don't see a picture of her.
Just the fact that Democrats are stepping down all over the place, from governors to state legislatures, all because of fraud. I think that's the biggest point. The Democrat Party is full. I mean, it's a complete fraudulent party. It's communist and fraud.
It's a big RICO organization.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Got to say something about, Trump's globes on Saturday morning were the size of weather balloons.
Yeah, they were.
What a message to send to the world.
I loved it. I heard about it early in the morning, and so sorry, Donna. I'm going in the living room. I'm going to get in the recliner. I'm going to start on the coffee. I got to watch this. This whole thing about Maduro. Oh, come get me, Trump. Well, okay, fine.
All right, done.
We could take. And good grief, the Delta Force people.
Badass.
They had a couple of injuries, no fatalities. Oh well, they shot up one of our helicopters, but so what? We got some Bondo. We just flew it out of there.
We're just fine.
And then Maduro, I'm a decent man.
No, you're not.
How do you say that in Spanish, Los?
Oh, good luck to that. That's why if you drop me off in Mexico, I'd die.
I love it. But then on top of that, man, the message that it projects to the world, and we talked about the oil part of it, cutting off the oil to China and Iran and to Russia. Now you got the Ayatollah in Iran New York Post is reporting they may be fleeing if the security team fails and the regime topples. It's like it's going to take care of itself. Same way with Cuba.
That action sent a message around the world that we are the top dog when it comes to pulling off these sort of military actions.
And you know what? Somebody, and I said this in my commentary this morning, somebody has to be the top dog. Somebody, it's just, I'm sorry, it's too bad, but we can't leave each other alone in our world, in Central America, South America, Europe, Asia. Somebody has got to be the top dog. Nature abhors a vacuum. So who's going to run the show? I hate to use the word run. That's kind of unpopular now. Who's going to guide whatever in Central America? And our interests down there are critical. They are acute. And it's got to be us.
Yes, sir.
The Chinese army, People's
Republic.
Yeah. They already pretty much control both entrances to the Panama Canal. Hutchison Whampoa or something like that. Chinese.
Yes, owning both sides. Yep.
Well, if somebody's going to lead, why not us?
I would rather it
Very
be
simple.
us. Give me somebody that you would rather lead than us. We got our own issues for sure. We're not perfect by any means, but I can't think of another country that defends freedom and does things the right way more than us.
That is the question. And I love to ask that question of these booger-eating morons on the left.
Booger-eating is great.
You know, who do you want to be the top? Somebody's going to do it.
That's right.
Who do you want? You don't want the United States? Fine. Tell me who you want to install as the big dog on the block instead of the United States.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it should be the communists. I think that we're much more interested. We're so smarter.
That's right.
I'm enjoying Mamdani so far.
Dude,
so far, so good.
What a disaster. What a disaster. Talking about how they're going to take away private property. That was the discussion point yesterday.
Well, Donna doesn't like to get into political arguments or conversations much, but she agrees with me. The guy never would have stood a chance if not for that incredible smile he has.
He's photogenic.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
There's a veneer there that's sellable. It's just what's underneath it is the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty teeth, the whole thing. But but I'm just really enjoying this, and I think that the business community is so far sitting on their hands. Sooner or later, the announcements have to be made. We're leaving.
Yeah.
We're going to Dallas.
Even yesterday with the discussion of what it costs to get into a World Cup match.
Yeah.
And he starts explaining about what we can do. I'm like, brother, those matches are in New Jersey.
Yeah.
you
ain't doing nothing.
You ain't doing nothing, okay?
Are they good?
Yeah, that's it. Giant Stadium is in New Jersey. You have no pull there.
They're not going to kick balls around in Central Park?
That's not happening.
No,
I might actually watch a soccer game.
Yeah, man.
World Cup is fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good time.
For sure. Absolutely. I'm going to cheer for
Find
you.
an Irish pub
Dude,
in the area.
You cannot go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong at a World Cup match watching it at an Irish pub.
I watched the British Open, just really called the Open, when Patrick Harrington ran it. Where was I watching that? At an Irish pub in Dublin.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Living.
Boy,
now
I
you're
saw
just bragging.
I saw the Bolshoi, the Nutcracker at the Bolshoi. Boy, can I choose the venues or what?
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm having to go find one in Alpharetta.
Yeah, Old Blind Dog is a good one.
Exactly.
Neil Bortz.
Hey, I love the Battery, guys. I really did.
That's awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. We got to get you back in here to hang out with us for an hour.
Yeah, the Omni Hotel treated us fantastic.
Great facility.
Yes, sir.
They need some grab bars in the shower, though.
Uh-oh.
Especially when there's two people in there.
Hey, now.
Oh, Lord.
Hey, now. Neil Bortz, the Talkmaster.
That wasn't me. That was Barry White.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So long.
Got it, Neil. The Talkmaster, the only place you get Neil Bortz is here on Extra.
It's called the OS handle in the shower, by the way.
That's right. When we come back, Dems say America's the most racist country of all time. We disagree. Next on Extra.
Xtra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, January 6th. The fallout from Black Monday continues in the NFL. Here in Atlanta, Greg Beatles has been promoted to the new CEO of the team as Rich McKay reportedly steps away from the football side of management. The Falcons also plan to interview former Browns coach Kevin Stefanski for their open position, along with Dolphins DC Anthony Weaver and Seahawks OC Clint Kubiak. The Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young's management team are reportedly in talks to line out a trade to another NBA team. This from ESPN's Shams Charania. The talks have been called positive and collaborative. On the court, the Hawks lost last night in Toronto to the Raptors 118-100. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Thousands of veterans across Georgia are missing out on the benefits they've earned through their service. The Warrior Alliance is changing that by connecting veterans and their families to life-changing resources and support. Tune into the Warrior Alliance Network, our podcast and radio show dedicated to helping veterans succeed after service. Join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 106.3 to hear inspiring veteran stories, discover free programs, and learn about career opportunities available to you. Subscribe to the Warrior Alliance YouTube channel today.
This is TV's Dr. Travis Stork for Eggland's Best Eggs. Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, with more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is House Call for Health. Another reason to come in out of the cold. Experts with Cleveland Clinic say changes in the atmosphere can impact the sinuses and potentially cause migraines. To combat this, doctors say those especially sensitive to the cold should stay inside. But if going outside is absolutely necessary, bundle up head to toe, especially around the head and neck. It's also critical during extreme winter weather to maintain a consistent exercise and sleep routine so that excess stress doesn't trigger a migraine episode. One Cleveland Clinic doctor says it's not just winter weather that can cause migraines. Summer and sudden rain or storms can as well. Also noting there's no one-size-fits-all solution, so people who suffer from migraines should identify their triggers to help lead to solutions. For example, lifestyle changes like diet adjustments or more sleep, or possibly even prescription medications and other treatment options. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
Securing America.
I state your name. I, Tom Brady, do solemnly swear.
On Monday, War Secretary Pete Hegseth personally swore in some new military recruits in Newport News, Virginia, welcoming them to their new paths.
You are about to enter a fraternity, a brotherhood of arms, of American warriors willing to serve our country.
And giving them a little insight about what is immediately ahead.
You're about to go to basic, where you will be forged. You will be torn down and built back up. And our job is that when you come out of that process, to ensure you are trained, ready, accountable, disciplined, and lethal in the service of your job.
The secretary closed his remarks by telling the new recruits,
Godspeed and good luck. I know you'll make our nation proud.
All of the individual military branches surpassed their recruiting goals last year. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. 5 years to the day after the riot at the Capitol, and there are still arguments about what really went down on January 6th, 2021. President Trump's own Justice Department launched the largest criminal prosecution in American history. The feds charged 1,500 people with crimes ranging from trespassing to seditious conspiracy. In one of his first acts upon returning to office, the president then pardoned all 1,500 from criminal liability. The Democratic caucus held its own hearing to, quote, expose the election deniers who hold high-level positions of significance in the executive branch, and detailed the threats to public safety posed by the hundreds of violent felons who were pardoned by the president. The president argued that many of the defendants were innocent and some held in inhumane conditions. President Trump also argued that his own FBI placed nearly 300 undercover agents in the crowd, although that has never been documented. The White House contends that only Democrats and the press are still consumed by January 6th. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Georgia politicians. If you want to win your election, the path to victory runs through Extra 106.3. Extra listeners are some of the most engaged, active in their communities, and outspoken on their beliefs, especially when it comes time to vote. So now's the time to get involved before our listeners move on to someone else. Tell the candidate you're voting for that if they want to win, the path to victory runs through Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
Got a little quick laugh with your decaf. America, the most racist country in the world, Los? Do you think that's the case? Because I don't.
I thought this was hilarious. So this is a comedian. It's Ben Backus. And I think it's important to be able to laugh at both ends of the spectrum. Of course. Like, do I oftentimes look at how I see conservative influencers fighting with each other and I'm like, y'all are a bunch of morons?
Absolutely.
It's like, it's just annoying. Can I laugh, obviously, at the left? Yes, plenty. So this is when it comes to immigration. And this guy is doing this he's so deadpan. But I think the lesson here is really funny, the way that a guy like Ben Backus takes our entire immigration policy and puts a fun spin on it.
All the Democrats say America's the most racist country in the world. That's what they say. It's the most racist country in the world. But everybody wants to live here. Do they not know? Maybe we should tell them so they don't come. But it is weird that liberals are they're the ones being like, America's the most racist country on earth. Also, open borders, come on in. We want you to experience it for yourself. We want you to see what we've built here. And then Republicans are like, we are not racist at all. We are the least racist country on earth. But do not come here.
I love that.
So good.
I was like, we are not racist,
but don't
do
come here.
not come here.
Dude, it's genius.
But is it not a simple way of you have one side that paints and says, we are the most racist country in the world, then why does everybody want to be here?
Yeah.
And if we're the most racist country in the world, why don't we actually like, here, let's let everybody in and we'll give them all this money and all this. Well, I mean, you know the reasons why. It's votes, it's power, it's whatever it is.
It's still funny. But it goes back to that, the numbers you had earlier of the people that just won't engage with someone else if they're of the different political persuasion. I think we look at things with such an even keel that we laugh at ourselves too. The left can't do that.
No, it's like some sort of personal affront to them if they're made fun of.
Oh my God, dude.
We've talked about this in the past year and a half. What has gone on is this movement has become the cool kids in the room, and we've never been the cool kids in the room. But now, with Gen X leading this thing, we're the ones looking at the other side, pointing at them and going, a bunch of crazy people. That's what a bunch of weirdos.
Yeah.
And we're the ones that are actually winning this thing.
Absolutely. And I think all these crazy communist protests over, free Maduro now is doing nothing more than solidifying that, what you just said, that we're in the right side of this. We're on the right side of history. And I hope it continues. Y'all continue to be communist. We'll continue to be Americans. When we continue on Extra 106.3, Marco Rubio called the mainstream media experts clown hour. And he's right. Next on the Morning Extra.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Well, excuse me if you think I'm still too focused on Venezuela, but it's an important story. Venezuela, Colombia, the narcotics, it's all important. And I think one of the biggest aspects of the story is the stunning hypocrisy of the dear left in America. Chucky Schumer, for instance. In 2020, Schumer took the floor of the Senate to slam Trump for his statements about what he's going to do about Venezuela, talking about Trump bragging about all these things he wants to do or is doing to change Venezuela. But then Schumer says he's done nothing. So here was Chuck Schumer. Oh, Trump is such a failure. He's done nothing about his promises to bring democracy to Venezuela. And then immediately after Maduro is handcuffed and hauled away, Schumer's on the floor of the Senate, slamming Trump for doing exactly what Schumer criticized him for not doing. Look, South America, Central America, very important to the United States, and China making huge inroads there. I'm just going to go back to this question I've asked many times. Colombia, Venezuela, Panama, these are all small, weak countries, strategically located. Some major power is going to dominate them. I'm sorry, folks. Facts is facts. Some major power is going to be running the show behind the scenes. Which major power do you want it to be? Don't scream imperialism. Don't scream nation building. Which power do you want it to be? Do you want it to be Russia, Vladimir Putin? Do you want it to be China? Or do you want it to be the United States? If you had to make the choice, which way would you go? And for those of you on the far left, the purple-haired screamers, the Hate America crowd, scary to think what their choice would be. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Take a pause.
Puppies. They're all over social media and on commercials and in movies, and if you want one, but you can't deal with a lifelong commitment, have we got an idea for you?
Being a puppy raiser is a life-changing experience.
Lauren Christie of New Jersey's a puppy raiser, taking care of 9 of them so far, but she doesn't keep them. Once the pups reach adulthood, they're trained as service dogs, helping the handicapped.
You know that they're going to go on to do bigger and better things, make a difference in the world.
Karen Lees runs one group training those dogs called the Seeing Eye. She says the pups just need basic obedience training.
You assume the responsibility of raising this dog and exposing them to a whole host of different experiences, taking them to stores, taking them on outings.
Do a search on Puppy Raiser and you'll see plenty of organizations who need help raising pups, like Canine Companions and Hero Dogs. Take pause. Jill Nato, Fox News.
This is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.
She is cheering the capture of Nicolas Maduro. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
January 3rd will go down in history as the day justice defeated a tyranny.
That's what Maria Corina Machado tells Fox's Hannity. She won the Nobel Peace Prize last year for her opposition to Maduro that got her jailed in Venezuela.
And it's not only huge for the Venezuelan people and our future, I think it's a huge step for humanity, for freedom.
Maduro's jailed in New York City, due back in court in March.
That is arraignment for running a multi-billion-dollar narco-terrorism cocaine operation. The deposed president of Venezuela said in Spanish, quote, "I am innocent. I am not guilty. I am a decent man, and I am here kidnapped." His attorney, Barry Pollack, called the raid that nabbed his client an illegal abduction. But Attorney General Pam Bondi says it was not.
Fox's Eric Shawn. Congressional leaders got a briefing last night in private from the Secretaries of War and State and others on the operation that captured Maduro. And while Republicans call it justified, Democrats do not, wanting a vote this week on a bill to require President Trump to get approval for future military action in Venezuela. Here's Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
When the United States engages in this kind of regime change and so-called nation building, it always ends up hurting the United States.
Ukraine's president is in Paris for talks with the U.S. and our allies on security guarantees if there's an agreement with Russia to stop the war. But there's tension. European leaders back Denmark as the U.S. eyes Greenland.
Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen says she believes President Trump's ongoing threat to seize control of Greenland could have catastrophic consequences. The island is a semi-autonomous part of the Kingdom of Denmark, strategically crucial and mineral-rich. PM Frederiksen telling a Danish broadcaster that if the United States chooses to attack a NATO ally, then everything stops.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. America's listening to Fox News.
Welcome to the most wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, scream in terror, and start looking for new ways to save money. If that's you, why not cut your wireless bill in half with a saver plan from Pure Talk? You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super fast 5G network for just $20 a month. Ho, ho, ho. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you switch in minutes. Again, talk, text, and data for just $20 a month.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
No traffic, no big deal. It's the Morning Extra on 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10. Thank you for being here. Download the app, listen live and on demand. If you're not a member of the 4-Hour Club, you can listen to any hour of the show that you missed right there at your leisure whenever you'd like. 404-741-1230 at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. Dre gave us a pop quiz early this morning, and he was like, you know what today is, right? And I had no idea that it was January 6th. I had no idea because that has been so used as political fodder, and it was nothing more than a operation to get you stop asking questions about the 2020 election. So it doesn't even hit my radar screen, Los.
No, and considering that Donald Trump decided to pardon everyone that was involved in it, it's hard to go by a case-by-case basis, in my opinion, and decide, well, who was treated fairly and who wasn't. But there was enough government involvement, enough FBI involvement, enough informant involvement, enough federal involvement, and the amount of people that were jailed, imprisoned, that were basically held in gulags in D.C. and were not given actual real trials. In fact, we went through one of the stories of one of the people that was involved, and you're like, wait a minute, like this person who ended up doing 3 years was based on the view of an officer who had helped incite the entire violence that had gone on. Like, called you a terrorist, yet this was the person who started firing on the crowd.
Insane, dude.
So with all that being said, you now have the scenario where I think people are actually able to look back at January 6th and say, what was it? It was an operation to get people to stop asking questions about the most fraudulent and questionable election in American history.
No doubt about it. And so when Jerry brought it up this morning, when Jerry said it, I was like, oh my God, it is. I mean, it took me a second to even realize because it had been so crazy. It is being reported to here, and I don't know, this is just what is being shared on social media. We'll see if it has any legs, if there's anything to it, because of all the fraud, not only with that election, but the fraud that's happening in Minnesota and Mississippi and Columbus, Ohio, and places around the country, even here in the state of Georgia. Fraud with a state senator stepping down that we talked about with Neil Bortz last hour. It is being reported that Capitol Police Officer Michael Byrd, who shot unarmed Ashley Babbitt on January 6th, reportedly had his taxpayer-funded daycare in his home run by his wife, and they are being accused of an incredible amount of fraud. So basically the same setup as the Somalis in Minnesota. If it turns out to be true, that's just another layer of the filth that came out of January 6th.
I think we're now being alerted to a lot of the things that Elon Musk was talking about.
Absolutely.
Now,
right.
They were taking care of fraud from a USAID level, and the amount of money that was going out to organizations where Elon Musk had gone on the record. He brought it up. He said, if you were to respond to our email questionnaire, as far as what we're trying to figure out where this money is headed, he's like, if you're claiming that you have a grain silo somewhere in Africa and it's being taxpayer funded to store food for these people, he's like, send us a picture. It's like anything. He's like, use AI to create a picture.
Something.
I mean, he went on the Joe Rogan podcast. He was like, just lie to us. Like anything.
Yeah.
He's like, most of them would not even respond back because, okay, the game was up. It was over. And so those contracts were canceled. Well, there's a lot of ways to steal from the American public. As much as we talk about we have a spending problem, yeah.
We have a fraud
We have
problem.
a fraud problem.
And I think we've always known that there's a level of fraud, right? With that level and that amount of money, it's bound to be. It's just that's why big government is awful, because it's going to be taken advantage of. But never in a million years, dude. And I'm the most skeptical. I know you're incredibly skeptical about what the government does. I don't think either one of us could even have imagined the amount of fraud.
You had because this all kicked off in Minneapolis with a restaurant, of all things. That's where the ball got rolling. I think people tend to forget about this because it's now been so far and buried. What occurred was you had a restaurant that federal investigators had monitored about 20 to 40 people that had gone in on a daily basis. What that restaurant was claiming is that they were feeding 4,000 children a week.
Between 4 and 6, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and they were getting, what is it? I don't have it in front of me, but like $12 million.
It was like $12 million is what they had gotten from the federal government and money coming back.
And turns out it's 40.
For free meals.
Yeah, turns out it's 40 people.
Because there are programs in this country where if you are providing free meals to those people that qualify for it, you will receive money back from the government for doing so. So this level of fraud, you had people that just found out, all right, how is the best way to gain the system? And that's what they did. And as long as the money was then being, in the form of political donations, kicked back to the responsible parties that were allowing this to happen, well, then it was all good. All right? We're just taking from the taxpayers. It's not their money. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. This is gross.
That was the game.
And because of that, all of these kind of dovetail together a little bit. Because of that, within 3 months, a guy like Tim Walz is now stepping down from, he's not going to run. He's not going to run, stepping out of the way. I guess somebody else can run. Some people say Amy Klobuchar is going to run for governor of Minnesota. But because of this fraud, my man went from VP candidate, was going to be the second highest ranked official in the United States if they would have won, to he can't even run because the fraud is so bad, and he and his AG supposedly knew about it. And I believe they did.
I think we're going to see a scenario in which case the Democrats need the heat to come down as far as the temperature needs to be way dropped in Minnesota. And part of that is, Tim Walz, you go away for a while. Now, the long game is that if Amy Klobuchar ends up becoming the governor, well, there's now an open seat.
And who gets to appoint it?
She does. And who does that then go to? Well, Walz has wanted that seat for forever.
Oh, my God.
So
that would be the most disgusting thing in American politics.
But Minnesota is now this home of third world communist politics.
Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise you at all that.
Why not? I mean, you're running it like an African nation.
Yeah.
It's operating like a third world run by the Democrats, run by the communists. This tribalistic nature. That's what it's turned into. So why would you be surprised that if the temperature comes down a little bit and maybe the fraud investigations come down a little bit and, okay, we've got our house in order? All right, let's make sure. Now, we're going to find out one of two ways. Either Tim Walz is out as far as like the machine has decided you're no longer a help to us, now you got to go, or, oh, no, we still got a place for you. It'll be as Senator Walz.
Gosh, can you imagine? Yeah, the crazy thing is, yes, I could.
Yeah, absolutely.
As
100%.
Gross as it is, I could absolutely imagine. It's nuts. That's that's just the tip of the iceberg of the things that we've discussed already this morning, and we'll continue to discuss.
I mean, if I could venture into an area where the tinfoil hat comes out.
Oh, this is my favorite area.
Considering that we did have a woman in Melissa Hortman who was killed in Minneapolis.
Dude.
For being the deciding vote on protecting taxpayer dollars from going out to illegals. She made that vote, and then within days of that vote her and her husband are murdered in their home by somebody who had been appointed under Tim Walz as part of his administration. Now, you can tell me, well, that person was crazy. It's like, how did he know to go knock on that door?
And why did he choose that specific door?
And why was he going after that person? I was like, okay. Again, tinfoil hat. If you want to know how dirty politics is under Tim Walz and what is going on in Minneapolis, that woman upset the apple cart and people were going to lose out on a lot of money. And so she had to go because that's what happens in third world communist dictatorships.
You're saying tinfoil hat, but dude, that's not a stretch, man.
Not at all.
At all. There's no one listening to this show right now going, that Carlos has got his tinfoil hat on. You're just connecting dots that have already been laid out. It's so easy.
She was the deciding vote. In fact, let's do this because we have the audio here before we get to Rubio. I want you to listen to Melissa Hortman. This is obviously before you have the crazy person who shows up at her door and kills her and her husband, who's posing as a police officer, which, by the way, it's because she was concerned about protection after she was the deciding vote to make sure that you didn't have more taxpayer dollars finding its way to people that were not supposed to be in the state of Minnesota illegally. This is how she reacted to that vote.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
Is that a person who's upset about not helping illegals or somebody who knows that they voted their conscience?
And
knows it's dangerous.
Is scared to death. Is scared to death. You can hear it in her voice.
So the fact that Tim Walz is no longer going to be governor of Minnesota, but yet can still find his way back into politics in some way, even after these allegations that are against him. I mean, the person who murdered Melissa Hortman. Now, granted, crazy, but you use crazy people for this stuff.
Of course you do. You're not going to get a sane person to do that.
You get crazy people for this stuff. He was telling investigators he was put up for it. And he was also telling them that Tim Walz wanted Klobuchar's seat.
And said, yeah, Tim Walz said, I should do it. That's in his confession letter.
Yes. That went away quite easily, didn't it?
There's no tinfoil hat. There's no tinfoil hat. It's so easy and logical to see how the dots are connected.
The fraud in Minnesota, it's one thing. If you wanted to say that you rob a convenience store, you made $200. All right, it happens. It's crap. Break into a house, you steal $1,000 for somebody. It's crap, but it happens. What happens when it's $8 billion? And $8 billion has been stolen by the American taxpayer from the American taxpayers. And that system of $8 billion is now spreading the money around to powerful people in Minnesota. Do you think that there are repercussions for helping shut that down?
Just like a cartel down in Mexico, if like the Mexican president were to try to put their foot down, because people are asking, why doesn't Scheinbaum down in Mexico put her foot down?
You don't want to die.
She don't want to die. It's exactly right. Those two are completely different, but the same thing is happening.
Yep.
That's exactly right, dude.
It's not $100 at the convenience store. It's not $1,000.
It's billions.
It's billions of dollars.
You don't disrupt a network like that without expecting repercussions. You have to be brave to do the right thing. The right thing is never the easy thing to do. Ever. It's never going to be. A simple right thing to do is not easy, and billions in fraud, uncovering it, knowing that you're doing the right thing, you could hear the fear in her voice.
There's an entire underworld of fraud going on in that state.
Dude, but you're right. Yes, they are too. But, dude, I can only imagine, Carlos, what the number is nationwide.
Around the country.
Think about we just had a state senator.
The reason why we knew it is because it was so concentrated.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing about it is that they'd been told for the Minneapolis Star-Tribune.
Yes, Keith Ellison was told, and it was, hey, it's as the AG. That dude was spending more time trying to figure out what cop to put in prison so he looked good rather than actually dealing with real fraud.
And was, according to the Star-Tribune, taking the kickbacks from them to look the other way, from the Somali immigrants and fraudsters to look the other way. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune, for all the crap we give mainstream media, and they are mainstream media, they actually did the story a couple years ago that this was happening. And you're talking about things getting swept under the rug. That's another thing that just got swept right under the rug. Nobody was dealing with it. Nobody was going to do what needed to be done for either fear in Melissa Hortman's case or because they were on the take in many other people's cases. It's nuts the way that came down. And I would love to see it happen. I want to see that kind of journalism that Nick Shirley did that started this. I want to see that happen everywhere. And I've heard Catherine Herridge talk about this, Los. You know, she worked for CBS. She worked for Fox News. She's an independent journalist now. I think she's one of the best. I think she's so stinking good. She said, moving forward, everything is going to come from independent journalists that don't have a dog in the fight. They don't have big advertisers like pharmaceutical companies that say you can't talk about this, that, or the other thing. I mean, look at Matt Taibbi, Catherine Herridge. There's so many of them out there that are doing great work.
If you're connected to Heritage Media, then you're also connected. And I'll bring it local here. Part of the reason why when a team like the Atlanta Falcons made the move that they did in firing their general manager and firing their coach, people flocked over to this station, to our company, versus the flagship. Like, well, why is that? So flagship is only allowed to say what the team tells them to.
They cannot tell you what they really think about the team because the team will pick up the phone and be like, what the hell are y'all doing?
Now, we have always been very fortunate. We have only had one scenario. I even recall in the better part of 15 years where the Braves ever said, hey, we're still investigating this story. It was actually the Roger McDowell thing with the bat in San Francisco and threatening fans.
Yep.
We had a portion of the story. The Braves said, hey, we're still looking into this. We don't know everything about it. We're going to let you know what we know. We'd ask you to pause until we know a whole story. We're like, okay. That's the only time in 15 years. We've never had them ever say anything to us about this stuff. Falcons are different. Well, imagine that if you happen to work for Heritage Media, CBS, NBC, ABC, any one of those. You're told, hey, you can't touch that story. What's the famous one? The story that they had when it came to Epstein.
Epstein, at ABC. What's her name? What's the lady's name that had? She got caught on the hot mic.
She got caught on a hot mic. She was frustrated during a break. She's like, we had this story years ago, and it got shut down. It's like we weren't allowed to do it.
Amy Rubach.
There you go. Absolutely right. And when you heard the hot mic audio, you're like, oh my God. Dude, she's saying what's really on her mind.
Yeah.
We had it. They wouldn't let me take it to air.
They would not let me do this story.
Same with Catherine Herridge, going back to her, an independent journalist, just quickly. She said at CBS, they had all the Hunter Biden laptop stuff. She's like, I independently verified it all. I got the cleanest copies that I could. And CBS was like, let's wait.
Let's hold off.
That's not where our interest is right now.
That's why I'm right there with you. Nick Shirley is an independent journalist and person who does stories on YouTube, and he just took down a governor.
He did, and tweeted
That is where this is happening now.
He tweeted it.
Tweeted it like
I took down
Tim Walz. I'm like, yeah, you did.
Good for him because it's the truth.
Well, I think he's been very frustrated with the amount of attacks that he's getting from the left, and as he put it, listen, I'm a Christian. I don't use drugs. He's like, go find a skeleton in the closet. And the only thing they were able to find, he had a family member that had some sort of contract dispute where it ended up being they paid $20,000 to settle it. They're like,
not him, but a family member.
A family member.
Yeah.
It's like, really? That's what you have on Nick Shirley?
That's what you got? Get out of here, dude.
Excellent. Well done.
This is the discussion we have here that you won't hear anywhere else. Never once, and Los has brought it up, never once has anybody walked into the studio and said, you cannot talk about this or you must talk about that. Ever. We had a sales rep one time come in, and we brought this story up many times, said, hey, will any of you speak on behalf of the pharmaceutical companies for the COVID shot? And every one of us said, absolutely not.
Hell no.
And they couldn't believe it. They're like, well, they're going to pay you. I don't care. Like, my integrity is worth more than whatever it is they're going to pay me.
I would sooner represent Al Qaeda.
Dude.
No, I take it back. I would sooner represent Al Jazeera and their work than I would the shop program.
Dude, it's freaking crazy. So, but we just
need news from a different angle.
Yeah, we just want you to know.
Lois here for Al Jazeera.
what the situation here is versus in so many other newsrooms and down the dial. It's just different, and we're very fortunate. When we come back, in 3 months, the former VP pick and Minnesota governor outlived his usefulness. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll get into Marco Rubio calling the mainstream media clown hour because they are.
Get the latest breaking news and insight from the biggest conservative voices in the South when you follow Xtra 106.3 across all your social media platforms. Find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube at Xtra 106.3.
Hey, it's Los, and I love me some Howard Brothers. Just good people at those stores all across North Georgia, and also when it comes to Exmark and their line of equipment. When it comes to lawn care, the folks at Howard Brothers, they know what it takes to get that job done, to get it done right. And when it comes to professionals out there, they know Exmark mowers. You can pick one up over at Howard Brothers. Built for precision, built with reliability, durability. And let's face it, that's important every single season. Exmark mowers make lawn work easier so you can spend less time working, more time enjoying your yard. So plan on that for this spring. Reliability and exacting of a cut. That is what you're going to be able to get from Howard Brothers and Exmark. Stop by Howard Brothers before the lawn season is here. They've got everything Exmark and a team ready to help you find the perfect fit. That's the important part. These aren't people that, hey, I just started here. What do you know about the equipment? Not a whole lot. No, these people have been working over at this family-run organization 10, 20, some even 30 years. They know what they're talking about. That's why the lawn care professionals are in there as well. Gear up for spring with Exmark and Howard Brothers.
How about a simple New Year's resolution? One that even I was able to achieve. Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You're going to feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look into that mirror, and you need to know what it feels like. And now, from Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment to their highly experienced team, they are the team that I personally recommend and trust in hair restoration. Did I mention your new hair is guaranteed to grow and can grow for life? How about celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 872-217-HAIR. Again, that's 872-217-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Fox rocks.
I'm Monica DeLuca. Taylor Swift is breaking her own Billboard Hot 100 record. Her song, The Fate of Ophelia, has become her sole longest-leading Hot 100 hit, beating Anti-Hero and her other #1 hits. The Fate of Ophelia reaching the top spot for 9 weeks, resurging after holiday classics fell from the list. And A$AP Rocky is out with a new music video for his song, Punk Rocky. The video stars Winona Ryder as a neighbor, watching approvingly as A$AP Rocky and his punk rock band perform in a garage, until another neighbor calls the cops over the noise. The song, Punk Rocky, will be featured on his upcoming album, Don't Be Dumb, his first full-length release in 8 years, which features cover art by Tim Burton. The album is out January 16th. That's Fox Rocks on Fox News.
This is House Call for Health. Another reason to come in out of the cold. Experts with Cleveland Clinic say changes in the atmosphere can impact the sinuses and potentially cause migraines. To combat this, doctors say those especially sensitive to the cold should stay inside. But if going outside is absolutely necessary, bundle up head to toe, especially around the head and neck. It's also critical during extreme winter weather to maintain a consistent exercise and sleep routine so that excess stress doesn't trigger a migraine episode. One Cleveland Clinic doctor says it's not just winter weather that can cause migraines. Summer and sudden rain or storms can as well. Also noting there's no one-size-fits-all solution, so people who suffer from migraines should identify their triggers to help lead to solutions. For example, lifestyle changes like diet adjustments or more sleep, or possibly even prescription medications and other treatment options. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, January 6th. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens was sworn in for his second term Monday at Georgia State University's Convocation Hall. Dickens outlined his focus for the next 4 years around progress on public safety, affordable housing, and city services. 2 Democratic state lawmakers are stepping down from their seats. Stone Mountain Representative Karen Bennett resigned effective January 1st after 13 years, while Augusta Representative Lynn Hefner stepped down Monday, citing severe Hurricane Helene damage that left her unable to live in her district. The next session begins January 12th. Governor Kemp is expected to call special elections to fill both seats. Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park has closed the mountain road to private vehicles to reduce congestion and improve visitor safety. Shuttles, bicyclists, and pedestrians will still have access as the park makes road and summit upgrades. And the Braves will host free all-day Braves Fest at the Battery on Saturday, January 31st. The fest features fan activities, entertainment, and player interactions ahead of the 2026 season. Paid autograph sessions go on sale this week. All proceeds benefit the Atlanta Braves Foundation. Today's weather, mostly cloudy with a high of 65. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
If you've ever been called a clown, you know that is not it's not a compliment. It's not anything nice, but it's so it's exactly right. It's so fitting for the mainstream media. I want you to hear what our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, said in regards to the experts, the so-called experts, when it comes to the Maduro extraction.
Okay, number one, most of the experts that people have on television, I watch these experts and it's clown hour. Okay, these are people that have focused their entire career on the Middle East or some other part of the world because that's where all the action was. Very few of them know anything about Venezuela or the Western Hemisphere. Venezuela looks nothing like Libya. It looks nothing like Iraq. It looks nothing like Afghanistan. It looks nothing like the Middle East other than the Iranian agents that are running through their plotting against America. Okay, these are Western countries with long traditions among their at a people-to-people and cultural level and ties to the United States. So there's nothing like that. So I think people need to stop ascribing the apples and oranges here, the apples of the Middle East to the oranges of the Western Hemisphere.
But do you...
Number two, this is about the national interest of the United States. And what I'm confident of is we are in a safer and better place because we're taking it seriously. The alternative would have been to leave Maduro there as an indicted the drug trafficker, illegitimate president, running the country, open invitation for all of our adversaries to do whatever they want against the United States from Venezuela. That was not going to continue. The alternative would have been to allow a drug trafficker to continue to use national territory and elements of nation-state power to further drug trafficking organizations. Read the indictment. This guy used the levers of their security apparatus not to arrest drug traffickers, but to cooperate and facilitate the trafficking of drugs for the purpose of getting them into the United States. And that's going to stop.
So great.
Is that a seal?
That's such a great... That's so good. She just couldn't get a word in edgewise because he was just laying down the truth. And you know the best thing that he said? It wasn't calling the mainstream media clowns, although that was good. The best thing that he said is we did it because we are securing the natural the national interests of the United States of America. Tell me the last time you heard someone in political office saying, we're doing this because it's good for America. Dude, that makes my heart sing. There's nothing better than doing things because it's good for America.
I told you there's 2 large nationalist regimes in this world. There's the Russians, there's us. We are doing things in the interest of peace in this world. The Russians are not yet. It's both about we are not looking to be part of your globalist movement. It's about us. And I love that.
Me too, dude.
I love that. It is about us.
That's what I voted for.
Yes.
It has to be about us. Who else are you going to make it about and be successful?
Every time I'm asked, and typically this is the libertarian thing, well, did you vote for these bombs? I was like, yeah.
I did. Absolutely.
And then you can't be serious. Hold on a second. Which one of us is being serious? I'm looking at this as a geopolitical move that is in the interest of this country in the same way that Marco Rubio is pointing out.
Absolutely right.
The exact same information. We've been doing it on this radio show now for the better part of 6 weeks that this is what was going on. And now that it's happened, mission accomplished. This is good.
2 hours.
Yeah.
Not 20 years.
Yeah.
Not 18 days.
And by the way, not like the previous administrations were used to handing pallets of money over to terrorists.
Like Obama did with the Iranians.
Hey, will you give us our sailors back? Here's pallets of cash. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that.
I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my heart being torn out seeing that. I remember my I was like, you're telling me that the president of this country delivered a pallet of cash because he didn't have the courage, he didn't have the fortitude, he didn't have the insight, he didn't have the planning capabilities, he didn't have the military structure in place to do what needed to be done. That's what you're telling me? I was so heartbroken. I'd never been so disgusted with the president in my whole life before that.
I would like to summarize the other end of this, because everything you just said was like, yeah, like that'll make you feel pretty low. We just had a scenario in which a drug lord, a dictator, a president, was in a hardened facility surrounded by security personnel, more than likely probably trained by the Russians and the Chinese, surrounded by Russian and Chinese anti-aircraft equipment, and we snatched him up like it was nothing.
2 hours.
We ended up flying, just as Jure pointed out, what was it, 150 aircraft that we had in the area?
Yep.
We had 150 aircraft in the area, not one down pilot, not one operator who was harmed, and we snatched up a dictator of another country. Do you know what that says to the rest of the world's dictators and people that are in power?
I know they're saying OS.
Better fly straight.
There's a reason the Ayatollah is planning an escape to Russia just in case.
Just in case.
Because they're scared to death.
They've all been shown that there is nowhere you can hide from American power.
Which is the way it's supposed to be.
And that's pretty cool.
It's the greatest, dude. There's nothing. Give me something that's better than that.
Give me the difference in pallets of cash, give us back our sailors, versus we're going to go snatch your ass out of your presidential palace.
On a military installation.
On a military installation with your best around you, and it didn't matter.
And we'll do it in 2 hours.
Yes. And we won't lose a person.
Dude, it is glorious.
It's awesome.
It's amazing. And doesn't it feel awesome to say it? Because when's the last time we were able to say this?
When Osama bin Laden was killed, and you go through the story and the timeline, and that was a decade's worth of work. That was all on our intelligence officials and how long it took and the mistakes that were made and ultimately how it worked in the operation. This, in my opinion, was vastly more dangerous given where you weren't going out into the middle of Pakistan, albeit, you were down from one of their military installations. You were going into downtown Caracas. You were in their capital, surrounded by hardware, military hardware, and you snatched up the dude and his wife, and you put him in blindfolds, and you read him their Miranda rights, and you're like, you're on a boat back to the United States. Thank you.
It feels fantastic to say we did something that was beneficial to America. It's been so long since we've been able to say that with such conviction, because they've told you over and over America's horrible. Doing things that are good for America's bad because America's bad. And I never once believed it, Los. I've never believed this country was a bad country. Do I believe we have bad actors in the country? Of course. Do I believe we have people in our government that look out for themselves first before they do the flag? Yes, of course. But there's never been a time where I was like, I don't love America, ever. And this makes me love the fact that Donald Trump loves America the way I do.
And by the way, because I do love this conversation when it comes up with the left, this is not a head of state. This is someone who is a dictator who had previously, even according to the Biden administration, lost their election yet stayed in power.
50 countries worldwide do not recognize him as the president.
Do not recognize him as the head of state there. But as somebody who has been indicted, he was still treated under the rights under his indictment in the United States. Osama bin Laden, we put like 30 bullets in him because he was a terrorist. You see how the difference works there?
Absolutely, I do.
See how that plays differently when we talk about terrorists on the international stage versus here's a person that we have recognized has not so much rights, but we are going to use the judicial process against this person in order to be legal. Every one of these operations, and Tug has talked about it, I've brought it up, the media tries to make it out to be like it's just willy-nilly, here's a bunch of cowboys, here's what they're doing, yeehaw, let's shoot another boat. You are surrounded by JAGs, and other law enforcement officials that will constantly tell you what is legal and what is not.
Absolutely right. And I would add,
at every level.
Absolutely. And they went through this operation with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that every bit of it would hold up in court. You don't think the Delta Force that went in there with our military couldn't have just put a bullet in him or 30?
Sure.
Absolutely. They could have done it in a second.
They could have killed him and his wife. And by the way, that wouldn't have been a good look.
No, of course not.
This is better.
Right, no, of course.
Yeah.
But the fact is, they could have, at any point, they could have done whatever they wanted to do. But that wasn't the operation. It was to read this man his rights as they're extracting him out. Doing things on the up and up. At any point, they could have said, this dude is a terrorist. This dude is an awful, awful human being. Exactly opposite of what he said in court yesterday when the judge finally cut him off.
He's El Presidente.
I'm a decent human being. No, you're not. No, you're not. And do you deserve a bullet? Probably so. But did we do things the right way? You're damn right we did.
Instead, your wife might see the outside one day.
Maybe.
Like you,
Yeah, no, definitely not.
You will be in a federal prison, a supermax federal prison for the remainder of your days.
We could have done him the same way. And if you go back to even last year, you had the Democrats saying the same thing about Maduro. If you go back to the first Trump administration, they were saying, well, Trump's buddying up with Maduro.
Yes. You have to understand, they're both bullies and thugs. That's why he looks up to him.
That's exactly right.
That was what Chuck Schumer was trying to sell to the American people back then as to why Donald Trump would not confront Maduro.
And now all of a sudden, he did what they said he should have done then, and they're complaining. Now, this is illegal. How could they restore Maduro? That's what the paid communist protesters are screaming in Times Square this morning.
There will be a bump out of this.
Oh, I think
whenever
so too.
we have a scenario that benefits the United States, and when you start to understand how long-lasting that benefit can be, and all the ways geopolitically that you have sent a message to every adversary around the world, even those, again, we're so tied in with the Chinese. It's not like we're ever going to light off a hot war with them or anything else. But we are basically looking to say your idea of global dominance will not happen on this watch.
And we're going to make sure of it.
We're going to make sure of it.
Just by this one move.
Yeah.
This one move is going to put you in such a corner that you're going to have to reevaluate everything you do and how you do it.
And what you think your technological capabilities are, ours are better.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I love that. And again, you'll get a bump out of this.
Yeah, and the fact that it's good for America. I know communists hate just the thought, the idea that we would do something good for America. I'm so proud of Marco Rubio for saying we did this in the national interests of America, which is exactly what I want the Secretary of State to say, the Secretary of War to say, and the President of the United States of America to say. I'm doing it for America. Because America matters, and America is a good place, and America can be the leader on the world stage. We don't have to kowtow. We don't have to kneel down. We don't have to recognize China and Russia. We don't have to deal with them. We will do things our way, and I love that. There's nothing better, dude. Makes me want to stand up and salute the flag. It's so good. It gives me cold chills.
I have a hard time. The more I hear about that story, I have a hard time not turning into the giddy, nerdy history guy.
That's where I am right now, man.
I'm like, what more can you tell me?
That's
what
right,
more can you
dude.
tell me?
And we will get more. They're going to tell the American people how. Now, obviously, they're going to tell you everything. They're going to tell you how you did everything. But you'll get minute by minute of what happened, how it happened, where it happened.
When we ended up killing Osama bin Laden, we didn't even know that we had radar defeating technology on helicopters at that point. Like, that was so secretive. So it's like, what other tech did we have this time around?
Dude,
it's been 15 years.
Dude, I bet we have stuff that would make your hair blow back.
There's a really good tweet right now, a good video laying out what we know so far. It's by @ugly_cowboy on X. Yeah, it's about 9.5 minutes, and I mean it's animated and it lays everything out pretty well.
Dude, there you go. Can't wait to see it. I wanted to talk to Front Office Los about this Christmas, because we're a couple weeks past Christmas now, but he spent Christmas with leftists. He spent it with people on the left. How it turned out. Los will tell you next on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, January 6th. The fallout from Black Monday continues in the NFL. Here in Atlanta, Greg Beatles has been promoted to the new CEO of the team as Rich McKay reportedly steps away from the football side of management. The Falcons also plan to interview former Browns coach Kevin Stefanski for their open position, along with Dolphins DC Anthony Weaver and Seahawks OC Clint Kubiak. The Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young's management team are reportedly in talks to line out a trade to another NBA team. This from ESPN's Shams Charania. The talks have been called positive and collaborative. On the court, the Hawks lost last night in Toronto to the Raptors 118-100. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Faith, family, freedom. These are the cornerstones of America and the foundation for a successful life. But today, all three are under attack. Crushing debt, out-of-control spending, and reckless policies in Washington are threatening your savings, your retirement, and your future. Hi, this is Glenn Beck. The only financial advisory firm I recommend in Atlanta is Nicholas Wealth Management. David Nicholas and his team believe protecting your money is about more than wealth. It's about defending your faith, your family, and your freedom. If your hard-earned retirement is left exposed to market chaos, higher taxes, or inflation, what happens to the life you've worked so hard to build? For over 20 years, David Nicholas has helped families right here in Atlanta fight back with retirement strategies built to better withstand uncertainty. Call Nicholas Wealth Management today, 404-890-5606, or visit nicholaswealth.com. Aim to safeguard your future today.
Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm that uses a variety of different investment strategies. Glenn Beck is not a client and is paid for his endorsement.
Hey, it's John Michaels, and look, some things are bigger than sports. In 2021, 13 American heroes gave their lives in Afghanistan, and 13 Heroes Premium Spirits was created to honor their sacrifice. This holiday season, you can make a real impact. Order direct at 13heroes.com, and every bottle sold means a donation straight to the heroes helping heroes at the Warrior Alliance. This clean, award-winning line of spirits are guaranteed to exceed expectations. Whether you're hosting a game or giving a gift, do something special this holiday season. Order at 13heroes.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Securing America.
I state your name. I, Tom Reyes, do solemnly swear.
On Monday, War Secretary Pete Hegseth personally swore in some new military recruits in Newport News, Virginia, welcoming them to their new paths.
You are about to enter a fraternity, a brotherhood of arms, of American warriors willing to serve our country.
And giving them a little insight about what is immediately ahead.
You're about to go to basic, where you will be forged. You will be torn down and built back up. And our job is that when you come out of that process, to ensure you are trained, ready, accountable, disciplined, and lethal in the service of your job.
The secretary closed his remarks by telling the new recruits,
Godspeed and good luck. I know you'll make our nation proud.
All of the individual military branches surpassed their recruiting goals last year. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Fox on Tech.
Elon Musk wants to put more computers into more brains this year. Musk's brain-computer interface company called Neuralink is now planning for what he calls high-volume production of the implantable devices, which allow patients to use their brainwave patterns to remotely control tech. Musk made the announcement in a post on his X social media platform. Brain-computer interfaces have been the work of medical researchers for years, though Musk's company touts successes with a smaller device allowing test patients who are physically disabled to operate computers, play video games, and make social media posts using their own thoughts. The idea is to eventually empower such patients to have full use of everyday tech such as smartphones and mobility devices, bringing the patient more autonomy and independence. Musk also stated that by the end of this year, Neuralink could be implanted using robotic surgery. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
The Kimmer Show is only on Extra 106.3 every weekday afternoon on your drive home.
And if you think things are going to change in Minnesota, guess what they did what those white, liberal, woke Minnesotans did over the weekend? They flooded all the Somali businesses and restaurants to show their support. Give them more and more of their money. After they just stole $6 to $8 billion of your money, and you just gave them more.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
Tug and Los until 10. We're pretty tolerant here on the right. You know, people disagree with us, fine. We're not going to argue with you in public, fine. You know, just not going to waste our time with you. The left doesn't feel that way. Los had the numbers earlier. People on the left don't want to work for someone that's on the right. They don't want to be friends with, certainly don't want to have a relationship with, like a romantic relationship. So it's no surprising.
The numbers since 2021 have been as high as, when it comes to a relationship, 67%. When it comes to who you would work with, who you'd be friends with, as many as 47% of those that are identifying as Democrats said they would not have a relationship, a friendship, or at 40% would even work for somebody who is conservative or on the right.
And on the flip of that, the conservative numbers asked the same question are all single digits.
Single digits, all at 7% being the high.
That's exactly right. You got to experience this up close at Christmas, though.
I had a wonderful moment. So I was talking with a friend of mine. He has basically, my father-in-law and he are like good buddies. They basically reared their kids together. The kids all have known each other since they were like elementary, middle school. And so we were having a discussion initially about sports and, you know, how do you fix college football? And as I started going through some of it, he starts giving me this look of like, oh, you're right, it is complicated. Yeah. I was like, well, until we can collectively bargain, here's what's going to happen, here's how it's going to play out. And then we got into a different kind of discussion. And what I did is I ended up pulling out a little bit of story time data for him. We did the Captain Ben Solomon story about the person who had defended a hospital tent during World War II, during the Battle of Saipan, and had killed 100 Japanese soldiers that were in a bonsai charge. Now, he died as well, but the reason why he was not given the Medal of Honor is technically he was serving as a medical official, as a dentist. And so picking up a rifle, well, that's against the rules of war. Geneva Conventions, the Geneva Accords, hey, you can't do that. And so I was telling him the story because we were talking about war crimes. And so as I'm having this discussion and we're kind of...
Sports to war crimes.
Right, that's how it went. It's just how it moved. Well, his son, good dude. I've known him for years. Funny, hilarious guy. He suddenly, as we're talking, because his dad makes a point, he's like, so what do you think about these drug boats from Venezuela? And I said, well, I don't have a problem with it. And now that gets the son kind of turning around like, oh. I was like, okay.
He's leaning in.
Now what I've recognized is, for the most part, amongst that group, you know, they're mostly Democrats. Mostly. And what I have found is that all very well-meaning, all well-adjusted, all fun people, it's just that they're, and as I said, I go, well, you're being emotional. I am not. What I made the point of was that there is, because they were talking about, you know, what about blowing up these drug boats? And I was like, well, they've been designated as a terrorist organization, an international terrorist organization, which completely changes how they're viewed. I go, there is not one international court where they will have the term murder when somebody's been designated a terrorist. There's no such thing. His response was, well, what about the Proud Boys? Now, that's the moment of, well, now you're talking about an organization that from one administration to another, if you wanted to say, okay, they're a domestic terrorist group, you know what? I could designate, if I was with the administration, Antifa as a domestic terrorist group. There is a difference of law. A domestic terrorist organization still gets all the benefits of the rules of law. That does not apply to an international terrorist organization that's out in the middle of the ocean on a drug boat.
That's right.
And so, as I'm making this point, I said, if you don't like it, change the law. And what I have found is that oftentimes when I get in these discussions, this is a lack of understanding of law, basically, of founding of the country, of so many aspects of this. And so it just boils down to raw emotion. Raw emotion oftentimes gets you in trouble.
Of course, it always does. Who's answered a question correctly when they were mad?
Exactly.
Who's responded well in traffic when they're mad? Nobody. Emotion always drives
it clouds judgment.
Of course it does. Yes.
I mean, there's a reason why we train our military in the way that we do. It's so you learn how to deal with emotions. You learn how to, for lack of a better term, you get to compartmentalize whether it's fear or excitement or what, and it just turns into what's the job. And so what I have found while I was having that discussion that night was that I could sit there and we could both agree. I'd be like, okay, I tell you what. First off, I don't give two S's about the Proud Boys. I just don't care. Does not factor in for me.
Never really hits my radar screen.
I was like, I'm not sitting back like, oh, I gotta watch out for the Proud Boys. Look out for them. But I would say Antifa, because of what we've dealt with in this city, is considerably more dangerous. But yet I realize that the rule of law applies to both organizations, whether you call them an organization or not. You know what rule of law doesn't apply to? Non-uniform combatants out on the open ocean.
Labeled as terrorists.
Labeled as an international terrorist group. That was my point.
But their emotion is so fueled by mainstream media.
Yes, what they're told.
Every day their download says, can't do it, not getting due process for those poor fishermen.
As I said, and this is what I pointed out, I go, you will not find one international court, not one anywhere in this world, where murder applies to terrorists. I was like, there's not one. I was like, now, can you mistreat a enemy combatant? Yeah, and that's subject to international law. Absolutely, 100%. The problem is that terrorists, since they're non-uniform, they're not even considered enemy combatants.
That's right.
They're just terrorists out on the battlefield. There is no uniformity to what they're doing. So all these international laws you speak of do not apply.
Right.
None of them do. And in fact, the only time when we've ever seen anything is when one administration to the next decided, all right, we're getting rid of our torture program.
In Git mode.
Not really sure how well this is working. This is what we're going to do. That wasn't pressured by international law.
No.
Because terrorists don't have any, they're not subject to any of it.
That was a decision here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty easy, but when your emotion overwhelms you and you can't think straight, you answer the way that you got answered.
I find that so many times it's just about, can we agree on something? Now let's expand it.
Yeah, that's right. Where does the line intersect?
And I will guarantee more times than not, I'm going to find your pretzel moment before you ever find mine.
Right.
In fact, I'll acknowledge, I'm like, I get it. This is where I have a problem with, but, and then I make my point from there. I believe that's the reason why it was the only time I had to have that discussion while I was in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah.
Because it only took one.
Time and knots.
And it was. And
don't bring it back up. Don't bring it back up.
I've done this with, of all people, my dad. We have had these moments where he will bring up something politically. I think it was the one where it was something about J.D. Vance. And I told him, I was like, I have just jumped on X. There's not one place where I can find that what you said was legitimate. There's not one video. There's not one transcript. I go, where did you get that from? And now he was like, And I told him, you act like I don't do this professionally every single day.
That's what I get paid to do, man.
I was like, I don't question you in the world of telecom when you were VP of this stuff. You know,
I didn't know because I
didn't know.
Yeah,
I wasn't sitting there telling you like, you know what, that quality of fiber optic cable is probably not going to handle this job the way this one other way. He's been like, he's like, you're 15, you don't know what you're talking about.
Shut up, kid.
Okay. What I'm telling him is, you don't know what you're talking about, man.
It's impressive though that you turned out conservative because usually, if you're around people who are not conservative, you don't turn out conservative.
I think it's just logic.
Yeah, right. No, I agree.
Just logical.
But having that influence, for so long and then still being able to form an opinion and reason.
Tug, it's very hard to influence me.
Well, no, right.
That's what I would say.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but most people, I would think, if you grow up around that and you're told the things that you're probably told as a kid forever, you believe them.
That's why it's important to raise them right.
Indeed, it is.
You know what? Next hour, I might throw a little story at you about raising them right.
Okay, I love that.
Little funny anecdote. With the kids are listening to you, people.
Yes, they are. They're like sponges. The Maduro paid protesters know nothing about what they're protesting, and maybe a little story from Los about raising them right. Next on Extra.
It's time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3.
Well, excuse me if you think I'm still too focused on Venezuela, but it's an important story. Venezuela, Colombia, the narcotics, it's all important. And I think one of the biggest aspects of the story is the stunning hypocrisy of the dear left in America. Chucky Schumer, for instance. In 2020, Schumer took the floor of the Senate to slam Trump for his statements about what he's going to do about Venezuela, talking about Trump bragging about all these things he wants to do or is doing to change Venezuela. But then Schumer says he's done nothing. So here was Chuck Schumer. Oh, Trump is such a failure. He's done nothing about his promises to bring democracy to Venezuela. And then immediately after Maduro is handcuffed and hauled away, Schumer's on the floor of the Senate, slamming Trump for doing exactly what Schumer criticized him for not doing. Look, South America, Central America, very important to the United States, and China making huge inroads there. I'm just going to go back to this question I've asked many times. Colombia, Venezuela, Panama, these are all small, weak countries, strategically located. Some major power is going to dominate them. I'm sorry, folks. Facts is facts. Some major power is going to be running the show behind the scenes. Which major power do you want it to be? Don't scream imperialism. Don't scream nation building. Which power do you want it to be? Do you want it to be Russia, Vladimir Putin? Do you want it to be China? Or do you want it to be the United States? If you had to make the choice, which way would you go? And for those of you on the far left, the purple-haired screamers, the Hate America crowd, scary to think what their choice would be. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
Hey, it's Flounder, and the Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
They get in power and their heads get big and they become so much better than everybody else, and they self-implode with their own arrogance and just stupidity. That's what the Republicans do. They cannot handle power, and they have the power and they won't do anything with it. They won't put any judges on the courts. They won't do anything.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app. The Morning Extra, every weekday morning from 6 to 10 on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.
Democrats still oppose what President Trump did in Venezuela. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The Venezuelans and the world are better off without Maduro.
But Democratic Senator Jeanne Shaheen just told Fox there are a lot of questions still about the U.S. operation capturing Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, who pleaded not guilty in New York yesterday to narco-terrorism and other charges.
This was not regime change. We haven't seen that the people around Maduro have been removed or that they're going to behave differently. So that's the question. What's going to happen next?
Republicans back what the president did, with House Speaker Mike Johnson saying after congressional leaders got a private briefing from the Secretaries of War and State,
the U.S. military operation in Venezuela was a decisive and justified action.
But Senator Shaheen and some Republicans worry about the U.S. going into Greenland next.
Needlessly dangerous. That's how the bipartisan Congressional Friends of Denmark caucus describes discussions of annexing Greenland, an idea pushed by President Trump from the start of his second administration. They argue Denmark has been moving in lockstep with the U.S. in Greenland for decades by accepting every request to increase a military presence to deter Russia and China. The president has shown an interest in the island for defense reasons and its natural resources.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. Opening statements are coming this morning in Texas, and the first trial stemming from the Uvalde school massacre.
Adrian Gonzalez is charged with 29 counts of child abandonment or endangerment. The former Uvalde school police officer was one of the first officials to respond to the 2022 mass shooting at Robb Elementary, where a gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. It took law enforcement over an hour to go into the classroom to kill the gunman. President Trump just posted on Truth Social a fraud investigations begun in California, calling that state more corrupt than Minnesota, where there are multi-billion-dollar fraud allegations. The Trump administration is freezing some funding to California and Minnesota and 3 other states run by Democrats, Colorado, Illinois, and New York. America's listening to Fox News.
Welcome to the most wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, scream in terror, and start looking for new ways to save money. If that's you, why not cut your wireless bill in half with a saver plan from Pure Talk? You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast 5G network for just $20 a month. Ho, ho, ho. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you switch in minutes. Again, talk, text, and data for just $20 a month.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
What do you say to anyone who still doesn't understand America First? Tell the left now at 404-741-1230 on the Morning Extra.
Los just told me something that I never thought I would hear from his lips ever. Just surprised that he said it. And if you heard it out of context, you might be like, what in the world?
Said, man, my butt feels better.
All because he brought him in a cushion.
I got a seat cushion.
A cushion, yeah.
I got a seat cushion because this chair, I don't know, I can't blame Kimmer for it. It's not like Kimmer beats.
They're all about the same.
They're all about the same. But after these chairs have been sat in for about 2 or 3 years, and I think that's about right. About 3 or 4 years ago is when we changed all the office chairs. They just don't have the same padding.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've started to pay a little bit more attention that it's more pain on my tailbone to be sitting in this hard chair for 4 hours. So we get up and walk around, and here's how you also know. When we first get up and walk around, the first couple steps, I'm like, ow. Like, that does not feel comfortable.
It's weird.
Now, my butt is prime.
Look at there.
Okay? I'm like USDA. Like, this is good stuff going down here.
Blood money.
That's right. I gave blood. They gave me a $25 gift card. Like, 83 cents later, it was like $25.83.
Yeah, sure. Right.
Yeah, so
it's the jackpot, man.
I win.
I know you do. Yes,
we have
you
a
do.
new chair coming in, and I'm interested in how this thing's going to play out. They've branded this thing as the boneless couch.
I'm going to look that up, dude. That sounds incredible.
Flounder makes a good point. He just sent us a text. He talks about how Kimmer changes a chair every day. It's funny. I'll watch him sit in each one to see which one works that day. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
They're all uncomfortable. It's just a matter of which one was the least uncomfortable for today. So
like I said, we've got this thing coming in, and it's almost like a mattress where you open up the box and let it roll out and it kind of inflates on its own. And I'm wondering if this thing is going to be like too soft or just right. Because if it's too soft, you can kind of sink into that thing and end up in bad posture.
That sounds like a great.
No, I'm a big fan of the memory foam. I think you can do well with that as of right now.
For a mattress, it's great. I just don't know about for a chair.
Well, like for now, this has worked. I feel good. There's no weird pressure here.
I feel good.
Like normally, by the time we get to this part of the show, I've now tucked a leg underneath my seat.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's so uncomfortable sitting on this hard thing.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Just gonna carry that thing in with you every day, huh? Like your lunch pail?
I'm just going to go put it over in my locker. Yeah, we have lockers here.
Yeah, we do. Nobody uses them either. That's why it's awesome that they're there.
Yeah. I've used mine for years. And
have you? Okay.
Well, not. You will find a lot of old paraphernalia from old shows.
Yeah, well, I know you've got a draft board that's on top of them.
You got a draft board that's up there from about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I have mugs from when we would have let's just say we would have adult beverages on Fridays after the show.
What?
So I'd make adult beverages.
Yeah, that's right. And Los is like a mixologist, too. No, which is funny because my youngin' went and got his pouring license while he was home. I'm like, well, what's you going to do with that? And he was like, I don't know. But I like the entrepreneurial spirit.
Well, it gives you options.
That's right.
Come time for the Masters, he's already down there in Augusta. You can go set up
clean
shop
up
somewhere.
Dude, and that's the thing. You know, because I think I brought it up yesterday. They rent the house that they live in, and they don't have to pay for a month. And the Augusta National hires the Augusta baseball team to be hands.
I know that because I had friends that would do a similar thing in Texas. They would do it in part because they could then go and work, like, let's say, a fraternity event or an alumni event.
Yep.
And you get paid
handsomely.
Really well as far as you're just slinging drinks for 2 or 3 hours before a game.
Yeah, you get your standard fee and then the tip jar.
Yeah.
And now with Venmo, like even like the singers, you know, the people at Pick and Grin, wherever you like to go eat Mexican food or whatever, they got a little Venmo on there.
Venmo there.
You don't got cash? No worries. You can Venmo me, and I do all the time, man.
Homeless people have Venmo now. They'll pull their phone right out. Yeah.
How can you afford a phone if you're homeless?
They try it.
No, I know. I'm not sure I'm buying all that.
I have seen people standing on freeway exits with cardboard signs that have QR codes on them.
That's freaking nuts, dude. That's a bridge too far.
Turning it into a profession.
Yeah, that's exactly right, dude. That's too much, man.
I'm not giving them anything, but I kind of admire it. Well, good for you. Buddy.
No, I understand. I can't. Yeah, not with
ingenuity
that. Or laziness. I mean, you know, maybe get out and get yourself a job. I don't know.
Maybe. or stand here
but I don't think I could do that. Just stand there and collect dollars and I don't know. It doesn't feel right.
You would really hope nobody recognizes you.
That's right.
Like, man, I used to listen to that guy all the time.
Yeah.
Clearly, things have not gone well.
Things have gone south quick.
If you find Tug standing on the street corner with a Venmo sign, just know that his hopes and dreams
have been dashed.
They've been dashed quite a bit.
I would do the Chad Powers, I believe.
Go be somebody else.
Probably a mask.
Put on a fake nose.
That's right. Just a clown nose. That's what I would do. We'll get to the pro-Maduro people not knowing what in the world they're protesting because they're paid protesters, as you know. But do you want to talk about raising them right here?
Yeah.
Are you good with that?
I'll just make it a quick one.
All right.
So my daughter takes part in a weightlifting class, and it's all the athletes, male and female. They all have different time periods, but so she's in one with a bunch of volleyball and track and basketball athletes. And typically, her head volleyball coach is the one who runs it, but every now and then they'll have an assistant that's in there. And in this case, it was one of the football coaches, like one of the tight ends coaches, big dude, football coach. And you want to talk about how your kids do listen to you. There's been times where I've told my daughter stories about different athletes and about certain ways that you carry yourself. And if you take pride in your appearance, that's an important factor, even though I dress kind of like a bum. But on the field, that's different, all right? Like high socks, good-looking jersey, that's how it's going to be. Well, so she's looking at herself in the mirror while working out, and one of the coaches is like, Medina! It's like, this isn't cosmetology class. And she looks over at him, and straight out of like 1994, she's like, Coach, look good, play good, pay good.
That's right.
Gave the Deion Sanders line. He doubled over cracking up.
That's awesome.
Like, how did this 14-year-old girl, now she just turned 15 just last month.
So cool.
How did she know a line from 30 years ago of look good, play good, pay good?
She heard Daddy say it.
She heard Daddy say it. We joke around about it in the house because when my daughters get ready and we're heading out to a tournament, we always joke around like as they're putting on their stuff. I'm like, well, look good, pay good.
That's right.
That's just the way we say it.
Jackpot. I love it, dude.
So there you go.
Good.
Raising them right. They will listen.
Dude, and we had something kind of similar. I woke up one morning while Jacob was home singing Ricky Skaggs. And if you're an old country,
I'm an old country fan.
Yeah, the bluegrass, very bluegrass. and he's got a song called Heartbroke, and it's twangy as it can be, and I love it. I just love Ricky Skaggs from his entire catalog. But for whatever reason, Jacob had Con, he had the aux in the house, and I just kept saying, hey, play the song, and he wouldn't do it. And I was, play the song. He wouldn't do it. Finally, he got tired of me ribbing him and begging. He played it, and I didn't think anything else. I sang along, top of my lungs. He and his mama rolled their eyes at me, and then we had breakfast or something like that. It was, we were coming home after New Year. He had been over in Auburn. That's where all the kids gathered. Everybody went to Auburn. So we had dinner the day, I guess it would be the Friday after New Year's. We had dinner. He picked the restaurant. It's his favorite. He knows he's leaving to go back to college. And on the way over to the restaurant, weaved in to all the songs that he was listening to. Freaking Ricky Skaggs.
Little Ricky Skaggs.
Heartbroke. I didn't say a word, but my heart was all pounding. I was like, that's my boy. But it's just exactly what you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
They pay attention to you. Even if they don't tell you, even if they don't want you to know, they're listening.
I am not ever keeping score on that stuff.
No, me either.
I'm just going,
But you can't.
pretty good.
You like the dude in the Black Hole Sun video, man. You got that big old smile.
And by the way, my wife had to tell me because she wasn't going to come tell me.
Oh, no, of course not. But, you didn't even hear it?
No.
Your wife told you.
She ended up telling my wife about this story in weightlifting class. So I heard it secondhand, third, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, she wasn't going to come to me and hey, Dad, remember when you
your line?
Remember when you would tell me that Deion Sanders line?
Of course not. Of course not. Same way with Jacob with the music. He wasn't going to come tell me that he added it to his playlist, but he did. Dude, I love it. God, I love it. Is there anything better? And I've never been a mama, obviously. Can't be that physically, biologically. Cannot be a mama. I don't know what that's like. But I don't know anything better than being a dad. There is nothing in my life that I love more than that. Whether it's interacting with my son or his friends or little stories like you've told or that I've shared, dude, there is nothing better than being a dad. I love it.
It's a good time.
Dude, it is. It is. It's
a good time.
Much fun. So much fun. All right. If you see communist protesters in, say, Times Square, and they all have those matching signs, no blood for oil. Well, that's not what it is. No long-term wars. Well, that's not what it is either. It took 2 hours in and out. You think there's going to be more? Not very likely that there's going to be more. So this Venezuelan man, an actual Venezuelan man, went up to the communists protesting for the release of Maduro and started asking him questions. Wait till you hear the answers that the Venezuelan man got from the protesters.
What do you know about Nicolas Maduro?
I don't know much, bro, but I'm here with Central CSO, and we fight against all this with the Trump administration, ICE, police brutality. So we're just here in support of all that right now.
And what does Maduro have to do with all that?
Bro, but we're here in support.
I mean, it makes sense. Nicolas Maduro is responsible for almost 8 million people leaving Venezuela, like a quarter of the population over the last decade. I mean, he's contributed a lot, right?
Yeah. But, we just here supporting. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, go Nicolas Maduro. Can we do that? Let's do it. Go. No?
No, won't say it at all. But, dude, what's the question? You're here in support of Maduro. Yeah, bro. What do you know about him? Not much, bro. We're just here in support, for Centro CSO, which is a Latino civil rights group in Los Angeles.
We're just being compensated to show up.
That's exactly right. That's the whole point. And I think this is another thing that's going to backfire on Democrats, is that when regular, everyday Americans know something is good for America, we had that discussion last hour, and they see these crazy communists saying, yes, we want Nicolas Maduro returned. He's the rightful president of Venezuela. After they were at a No Kings March 2 months ago, dude, you cannot fool people like that. No one believes you.
It took 77 days to go from No Kings
to please let the dictator loose.
77 days.
77 days. I can't think of one issue politically that I have stated 77 days ago that I would say I have completely 180. Now, have I been wrong in predictions? Yeah. Like there's been stuff where I went, whoop, didn't get that one right. But it wasn't that the way I viewed the world changed so drastically in 77 days.
Well, it's because you weren't being stroked a check to change your opinion in 77 days.
There's a reason why the communists, the old KGB, referred to all of them as useful idiots. That they were useful in getting this change done within a society. And then once they did, it was time to get rid of the useful idiots.
Y'all got to go. But the crazy thing is that dude, he's definitely a useful idiot. But he doesn't even believe the crap that he's saying.
No, he's just there.
He's just a representative, man.
I'm supposed to be here. I mean, you might as well have said, I wasn't working today. They called me in. It's a check. I'm here.
It's crowds on demand. They were offering $100. You had to be here in 15 minutes. I'm here.
I'm here. $100.
At least you could at least respect that. You're out there hustling. You're out there trying to make a living.
I respect every time when they have somebody who's out there, and whether it's holding a sign or they ask them, what are you doing out here? I just got compensated.
Dude, got paid.
Got paid. I'm working here for 2 hours. I'm gone.
That's exactly right. But that's the thing. The useful idiot, at least they believe the BS that they're promoting.
And then you always see the crowds disperse at whatever time that it's supposed to be of the shift is over.
Lunch, 2 o'clock, maybe it's 2 o'clock.
It's not like they're spending 8 hours out there for Maduro.
They got a guy out there collecting the signs so they can use them again tomorrow when the crowd on demand shows up.
And the media knows we have a limited window. Get the pictures we need. Right. Here's the influence we're going to have. And that's all the game is. And to think that when we went through the presidential election, because Kamala Harris wasn't turning out crowds, so they were having to use AI to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like they understand the power of it.
Yeah, sure. The visual is impressive.
And that's why they're paying for it.
Persuasive.
They're having to create a visual so that you think to yourself, hey, maybe those people are right. No, they're not. They're paid.
But that's the thing now. I've never been impressed by crowds because I've never really trusted. I didn't know there was a thing called crowds on demand. I had no idea that was even a thing, until the last 4 or 5 years. But I've always been like, my family's at work today. Y'all are out in the middle of the street screaming and hollering. Dude, what do you do that allows you to do that? Because I can't. I got to go to work.
I would like to think, especially when we see some of these on a Saturday, there is very little in this world that would get me to go take part in anything on a Saturday that's not something I don't want to do.
Dude, almost zero.
Like, hey, I'm out here, no Kings. I'd be like, y'all are morons.
Y'all are crazy.
I'm going to go watch some college football.
No, that's right. Dude, I've never, and I'm staunchly pro-life. I've never been to a pro-life walk or anything like that. I'm not a protesting type guy.
This is why
not who I am.
We have talked about it in the past. When you get Tug and I to participate in an event, it's because we actually want to participate in the event. And that's few and far between. That's not a regular thing.
Without a doubt. But you brought it up earlier. When people try to corner you up, want to talk politics, you're like, dude, I did it for 4 hours, man. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm good. I can do something different other than this.
Would you like to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you like to, as we talked about earlier, would you like to talk about the Crips versus the U.S. Army Rangers?
Yes.
What would you like to get into that is completely different?
Dude, well, the Grand Theft Auto thing is pretty funny because I used to play that on PS2 and haven't played it in a long time. So to see what happened there with the mod, as you called it.
The deer
that steals a car and runs somebody over. It's freaking nuts. We got that. There's a few things we can get into. We'll do it next. What do you say? Since the Morning Extra at Extra 106.3, 9 o'clock hour just gets off the rails on the crazy train. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're a part of the 2, 3, 4 hour club, God bless y'all. We appreciate you. This is Extra.
Extra 106.3 is connected to the Atlanta community with the local officials and candidates that share your values, plus the national perspective from the most trusted name in news like Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, and Atlanta's own Neil Boards. Proud to be the conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
So your New Year's resolution was to slow down on the drinking. Now you're in a jail cell facing a DUI. Time to call A Second Chance Bail Bonds. A Second Chance will get your loved one home quickly. For 20 years, they've been helping folks with 12 locations across Metro Atlanta and Birmingham and are available 24/7. For fast, professional, discreet services, call 404-BAILOUT. That's 404-BAILOUT or visit atlbail.com. A Second Chance Bail Bonds. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us.
How about a simple New Year's resolution? One that even I was able to achieve. Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You're going to feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look into that mirror, and you need to know what it feels like. And now, from Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment to their highly experienced team, they are the team that I personally recommend and trust in hair restoration. Did I mention your new hair is guaranteed to grow and can grow for life? How about celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Call 872-217-HAIR. Again, that's 872-217-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution can look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Christmas is over, so why not get what you really wanted? Jaron Solomon here, and now is the time to treat yourself to the perfect piece at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, because you deserve it. Or maybe your New Year's resolution is to make someone else's dream come true with the perfect engagement ring, or Valentine's Day with a gift that says it all. No matter what you are shopping for, we have 3 Atlanta locations in Buckhead, Alpharetta, and Sharpsburg, and endless ways to celebrate you and the ones you love. Don't forget to head to the website at SolomonBrothers.com to check out the clearance page to get the absolute best deals on the styles we simply bought too much of for 2025. And with our low price guarantee and flexible financing, luxury has never been more accessible. Solomon Brothers Jewelers, helping Atlanta say I do since 1982.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. You know what time it is? Cooler weather. Perfect time to get those outdoor projects done. Stovall & Company has everything. Wholesale landscaping, nursery, irrigation supplies. 11 locations, latest one in Canton. Family owned for 75 years. They've got it all. StovallInc.com.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. 5 years to the day after the riot at the Capitol, and there are still arguments about what really went down on January 6th, 2021. President Trump's own Justice Department launched the largest criminal prosecution in American history. The feds charged 1,500 people with crimes ranging from trespassing to seditious conspiracy. In one of his first acts upon returning to office, the president then pardoned all 1,500 from criminal liability. The Democratic caucus held its own hearing to, quote, expose the election deniers who hold high-level positions of significance in the executive branch and detail the threats to public safety posed by the hundreds of violent felons who were pardoned by the president. The president argued that many of the defendants were innocent and some held in inhumane conditions. President Trump also argued that his own FBI placed nearly 300 undercover agents in the crowd, although that has never been documented. The White House contends that only Democrats and the press are still consumed by January 6th. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
It's Tuesday, January 6th. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens was sworn in for his second term Monday at Georgia State University's Convocation Hall. Dickens outlined his focus for the next 4 years around progress on public safety, affordable housing, and city services. 2 Democratic state lawmakers are stepping down from their seats. Stone Mountain Representative Karen Bennett resigned effective January 1st after 13 years, while Augusta Representative Lynn Hefner stepped down Monday, citing severe Hurricane Helene damage that left her unable to live in her district. The next session begins January 12th. Governor Kemp is expected to call special elections to fill both seats. Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield Park has closed the mountain road to private vehicles to reduce congestion and improve visitor safety. Shuttles, bicyclists, and pedestrians will still have access as the park makes road and summit upgrades. And the Braves will host free all-day Braves Fest at the Battery on Saturday, January 31st. The fest features fan activities, entertainment, and player interactions ahead of the 2026 season. Paid autograph sessions go on sale this week. All proceeds benefit the Atlanta Braves Foundation. Today's weather, mostly cloudy with a high of 65. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. Hey, quick, you've probably heard about this at this point. There was a Hilton hotel that were saying, no, we're not open for business when it comes to ICE agents, federal agents that are enforcing immigration law in the United States. So Hilton, the brand, was told about this franchise. They went and talked to them and said, hey, you got to get this right. There's no way that you can do this. And the independent hotel owner assured Hilton that they had fixed the problem. Video comes out of them doing the exact opposite. And now, according to Bill Belusion of Fox News Channel, Hilton has removed independently owned hotel in Minnesota from their systems after the Nick Sorter video appears to show them still banning ICE and DHS from booking rooms at the hotel.
So that is a big deal in response to this stuff.
And quick.
When you hear about the amount of money, first off, that it requires for you to be able to hold that brand, and then the support you get from, obviously, the ownership as far as a franchisee.
And marketing and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a quality in before you know it. Like, it's going to, end up being one of these way down the line independents. And listen, there are independent hotels that do quite well.
Sure,
they do very well.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of them where suddenly here comes the weird name.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a national backer behind them anymore. Right. And considering that this particular franchisee decided, which, by the way, it actually goes against, now, it doesn't violate anything from the 1964 Civil Rights Act, but the most common ways in which a hotel can decide not to extend services to you, none of them would apply here. You have a real issue legally here. And so I can get it why, the parent company of Hilton decided we don't want no representation with this here. None.
Because they saw what happened to Bud Light. They saw what happened to Cracker Barrel. Like people not saying, hey, boycott it. They're just choosing not to spend their money.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's
like, if I got options, here's the one I won't take.
Right, because why would I choose them? I know that they don't represent my values at all.
And so in this case, that particular hotel, I think, is the one that's going to end up catching a lot of flack here.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. So it's interesting how quickly that turned around, because that story broke, yesterday, I guess?
Yesterday.
Yeah. And then by today, it's already Hilton saying, no. we're distancing ourselves.
The desk manager confirmed that the anti-DHS policy remained in effect.
and then hid behind the counter.
Yeah. This is after you had all of them saying, no, we got it all. We got it all taken care of.
We fixed it.
Oh, you did, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude. It seems nuts to me that anybody would risk their own, their own job, their own way of earning a living for their family. It just seems like a big roll of the dice to do that.
You can have a hotel chain legally, can decide that they don't want to have locals, in part because oftentimes that might be a party element, and so they might decline rooms to those people. You can say that if a group is particularly rowdy or intoxicated, you can decide to not extend services to them. But there is no area where being employed by DHS ends up being grounds for not being permitted to have hotel services.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't think... whoever came up with this idea, they're going to get cracked so hard.
Dude. Well, but likely it's the top.
I mean, the parent company's already doing it, but they're going to find something. So you always find something when this occurs. Like, we're going to find out that the owner who decided, this, we're going to do this.
The franchisee.
Yeah, there'll be back taxes or something like that.
Right.
There's always something.
It is. You're exactly right about
stay
that.
off the radar.
Yeah. Yeah. It always works out.
Well, it turns out that he didn't take care of X. And so now here's your problem. That's how this game works.
Think about all the people that went after Trump and look at all the dirt that they had in their own backgrounds. They had in their own personal life.
Fortunately, he had the lawyers and the resources to fight all that stuff.
And find it. Most people don't. But it just illustrates the point that you're making, that I bet there will be something.
Nick Sorter pointed out on that video, he said, as he finished it up, this is an incredibly dumb battle to choose.
Yeah. Why? That's exactly right, dude. Why? Like,
just emotion, man.
Back to the discussion we had earlier, because you'd spent some time over the holidays with some family members that are different politically, and it was that's what it boiled down to in your discussion with them. It boiled down to just emotion. When do you do something in an emotional state that it turns out right? Never. That's why you don't do things based on emotion. That's a reason when you get ticked in traffic, you don't run somebody off the road, because it's a bad idea.
I can probably find at least 2 ways where you might decide, all right, officially, here's the reason why we're not going to have you on premises. And now a part of that can be that our hotel and our current guests might be concerned about an enhanced police presence. You could say that, obviously, when you're working with the amount of firearms, maybe you think that might create an uncomfortable level for the family. Like, you can, but none of that was designated.
No, of course not.
It was just like, you're involved in immigration work.
We don't
not
like
here.
Yeah, get out.
Like, sorry, that's not going to fly.
No,
that's not going to fly.
Statement.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Of course it's not.
I mean, I would be pretty comfortable if you told me that I was staying at a hotel, and oh, by the way, down the hall in the convention center is a police union meeting. I'd be like, we're great. We are so good.
Everything seems very safe today.
It's like when we had over at Governor's Gun Club, when we had our event there a couple of years ago, you were looking around that entire room going, this might be the most well-armed place that I've been in years. Anybody who wants to come and cause any silliness here, it's not going to be met well.
The problem will be solved.
Yes.
Rapidly,
quickly.
It's like the lady, also kind of in the same vein, True Prep, the lady that tried to steal the gun from True Prep.
Steal from a store where you wanted to test I'm going to test the run policy. You got taken down by a former member of the military who only volunteers with the local police department so that he can maintain his SWAT status.
Prep is in their name. They were prepared for anything that you bring up to the counter.
Why do you think they bring it up?
TRUprep.com.
Pretty funny.
Dude, it's just, what are you thinking? You're not thinking that.
Yeah, and in the case of this particular Hilton hotel, you're clearly not thinking.
There's another story out there of people that just aren't thinking whatsoever, and I think it's really funny, and a lot of people are going to probably call foul on it, but I think it's great. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has initiated non-judicial punishment against Mark Kelly for his seditious statements asking the military members to disobey their chain of command, which is imperative for the proper functioning of the military as you saw it function in Iran and then again in Venezuela. This dude decided, as a retired member of the military, still getting a check, he is still subject to the UCMJ, and it's non-judicial punishment. They are threatening to, and probably are proceeding with, more than threatening, to bust him down in rank. So he's a captain in the Navy. That would go down to commander, and it would also change his pay. Now, Senator Kelly has 30 days to respond, or that punishment goes into effect. He said he will respond. I just think it's funny that they're like, okay, you want to F around? We got ways to get back.
Let's do a big picture view of this. We had a scenario where you had a number of congressmen and senators that put out a video basically asking for sedition, that do not execute unlawful orders from the president.
Yet could not give you one order that should be unlawful.
And was asked a multitude of times, and never could they cite an order that was potentially unlawful. Now, one of the issues that is going on in D.C. right now is because Maduro is going to have to be in open court, the discussion point is how many senators, congressmen are going to be exposed for having close relations with Venezuela and receiving money. Because we've had teachers unions, like Chicago teachers unions, that have gone down to Venezuela to see what they're doing.
Dude, another one. when you think about the thing that happened out in Charlie Kirk, the gun club, the socialist gun club. They used to go to Cuba and Venezuela to train.
So if you do find that you're going to have, because we talk about how the Democrats are having to go everywhere for money, they can't raise it on their own right now. They have to have these different games they're playing and different organizations they're involved in. What happens if the reason why we got that video of the congressman and Mark Kelly and all of them basically talking about sedition, it was because they knew the operation was coming? We'd been parked off the coast of Venezuela.
Sure.
We'd been blowing up drug boats. They knew it was coming. I think this is
You and I knew it was coming.
I think this is a little CYA here.
Dude, yeah, probably
It's like,
so.
please don't execute these orders. We're in trouble if you do.
Yeah. No,
that makes a lot of sense to me.
Of course it does.
More so than just a former astronaut deciding to do a video where you knew what was going to be the cost of this. I think it's a bit of an act of desperation.
I just love the fact that these people knew exactly what they were doing. They were asking our military to
stand down.
Stand down, which is ridiculous. Stand down from what? What is it that you're standing? You can't give me an example.
They were asked for a month. Name
give us
order.
something. And now, because I've seen people coming back to the ship too drunk, and they would get in trouble, and they would get non-judicial punishment. They would go in front of the captain, get captain's mast. They would bust down their rank. They would take half their pay for 3 months or 6 months or whatever it was decided. I've seen it happen to everyday sailors. Why does that captain get treated any different? Because he's a senator? I thought it was of the people, by the people, for the people.
Well, I thought no one was above the law.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly right, dude.
I mean, now remember, this is different. This is not the law.
No, it's non-judicial punishment.
This is non-judicial punishment, but more than anything, this is military justice.
That's exactly right.
Which is different. It's completely different.
And the fact
And by the way, everyone who serves knows it's different.
For sure you do. For sure you do. You know what the operation is like. You know what can happen. You know don't come back to the ship drunk as a bicycle. You know not to do that.
Man, I never would have gotten out of private status. Woo. We're in port. Let's go.
Whoa! You better find you a hotel. But that's the thing. And some captains,
is this my ship?
Yeah, dude. Let me tell you. There were some times in Spain, sometimes in Turkey, sometimes in Greece that I recall going, how am I going to pull this off? You know when you've had a few too many,
sure.
You try and figure it all out. It's like Wolf of Wall Street when he drove the
driving the car back. It all seemed normal.
He convinced himself it was just fine. That's the way you're walking up the brow of the ship. Just come aboard. That's it. You know what the standard is, and some captains were more strict about it than others. On the carrier, weren't strict at all. On USS South Carolina, Captain Brown, very strict about it. You know what could happen. Senator Kelly, you're not above anybody else. You are not above it. And now you're going to pay. Now, they are going to take his retirement and bust it. Pardon me for laughing, but it's kind of funny.
Had it been a different time, had it been a different military.
Oh, he might have been celebrated.
Well, I'm saying this might have been worse. I mean, he's openly speaking of sedition.
Yeah.
We only have a few crimes that are actually punishable by death when it comes to the Constitution. Now, you can point out, well, sedition, I mean, how often is that ever used against a private citizen?
Yeah.
Technically, he's not a private citizen.
No, he is a man collecting a check from the
military.
Pentagon.
Yes.
That's exactly right. And that's why he falls under the category of non-judicial punishment by the military and the secretary. I mean, if somebody's going to leave the charge against you, I don't want it to be the Secretary of War. That's not who I want to offend. That's not the guy I want coming after me. I would rather it be somebody on my local command where I'm going to be. I'm not going to turn into fodder for everybody in media and social media.
I hope we reach a point where these are the least of his concerns. Because if we start finding out, and I think this is part of how this story is going to play out, I believe you're going to have Nicolas Maduro who's going to start singing here real soon.
Dude, I think you're exactly
and we're going to talk about election interference.
Yep.
We're going to talk about
which you brought up yesterday.
Kickbacks. We're going to talk about Smartmatic. We're going to talk about money that's found its way into Democrat coffers. We're going to be talking about so many different elements that somebody like Mark Kelly and the rest of those people that were asking for military action to not be conducted, we thought maybe that means in the cities with the National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
No. They meant about as far as an operation in South America.
Dude, it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy how
it's
this is
illegal. You don't want them doing illegal. And what did the Democrats immediately do?
First thing they
it's
said,
illegal.
It's
You ain't got a president.
That's exactly right, dude.
This is what they were afraid of.
The whole time.
We're going to find out why.
Yeah. And it's no different than what's really, at least in my opinion, the kickbacks from the fraud in Minnesota. It's anywhere Democrats can use fraud to their benefit, it seems like they're doing it. Gosh, it's crazy to see this. But this is like nothing I've ever seen before. But I'm certainly glad to be able to report on it and talk about it a little bit. When we come back on Extra 106.3, an Australian immigrant to America, he knows what's up. Next at Extra.
Extra 106.3 Sports, powered by 680 The Fan.
Here are your sports headlines for Tuesday, January 6th. The fallout from Black Monday continues in the NFL. Here in Atlanta, Greg Beatles has been promoted to the new CEO of the team as Rich McKay reportedly steps away from the football side of management. The Falcons also plan to interview former Browns coach Kevin Stefanski for their open position, along with Dolphins DC Anthony Weaver and Seahawks OC Clint Kubiak. The Atlanta Hawks and Trae Young's management team are reportedly in talks to line out a trade to another NBA team. This from ESPN's Shams Charania. The talks have been called positive and collaborative. On the court, the Hawks lost last night in Toronto to the Raptors 118-100. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
The Georgia Tech men's basketball team takes on ACC foe North Carolina in its whiteout game on Saturday, January 31st at 2 p.m. in the Thriller Dome.
Angle pass tipped away, stolen, high post, Dongo. Dongo striding in, two-hand slam. Into the right corner, Reeves, a three, good. And that was with a hand in his face.
Lock in your seats now at RamlinRec.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
Hair volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. New Nordic is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Bullet points. I'm Eben Brown. A haven for gun control is told one of its most restrictive laws is unconstitutional. Second Amendment advocates celebrated the new year with a new ruling from the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in the Ninth Circuit saying California's ban on openly carrying one's firearm is not in sync with the U.S. Constitution and must be struck down. The three-judge panel says the decision by a lower court to uphold the law was incorrect, as the law in question can't pass what is now called the Bruin test, referring to a U.S. Supreme Court decision about gun laws in New York State needing to be rooted in historic tradition if they are to be considered constitutional. It's expected that California's Attorney General will now ask the Ninth Circuit for an en-banc hearing. That's a step before asking the Supreme Court to take the case. California's open carry ban itself only came into law in 2012. And those are your bullet points. I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Fox on Film.
I'm Michelle Polino.
What do you want?
The Ghost Shirt. Americana is streaming on Starz. The film stars Sydney Sweeney, Halsey, and Paul Walter Hauser. It follows local outsiders and outcasts in a small South Dakota town whose lives violently intertwine after a rare artifact falls onto the black market.
Do I know you?
In theaters, The Dutchman, set on a New York subway. It centers on an encounter between a man and woman who match wits in a sexualized game of cat and mouse that leads to a violent conclusion. Also in theaters, We Bury the Dead. After a catastrophic military disaster, the dead don't just rise, they hunt. The military insists they're harmless. But when Ava, played by Daisy Ridley, enters a quarantine zone searching for her missing husband, she discovers a horrifying truth. The undead are growing more violent and more dangerous by the hour. That's Fox on Film on Fox News.
This is House Call for Health. January is National Blood Donation Month. The American Red Cross says it's a time to honor the life-saving contributions of blood donors and raise awareness about the urgent need for donations. Why hold this month in January? They say winter is a tough time on blood collection efforts. Everything from severe weather like snowstorms and freezing temperatures to seasonal illnesses like the flu and RSV, leading people to miss appointments or just to fewer donors in general. President Richard Nixon signed a proclamation on December 31st, 1960, establishing the month, writing, quote, "No manifestation of this generosity of spirit spirit is more expressive, and no gift more priceless in time of personal crisis than the donation of one's blood. The voluntary blood donor truly gives life itself. To donate blood, you can find a nearby blood drive or schedule an appointment using the Red Cross Blood Donor app by going to redcrossblood.org, or for more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Xtra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Xtra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Xtra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Los said hoops are in his future today. Get a little exercise, get out there, shoot a few baskets.
Yeah, if the weather holds off, I might do a little shooting today.
It's just partly cloudy today, is that it? Or we got a chance right now?
Going to the park for an outdoor pickup game?
There's actually, this is how elite my neighborhood.
Well, let me tell you, I've been there. It is pretty elite.
It does have like a little sports court that's out there, and I've yet to get on it because the weather's just been gross. I think I'm going to go out there and shoot a few.
Dude, there's nothing more fun than shooting baskets. I love it.
Used to love the LA Fitness on Windward Parkway. Like that was some games, man. Like John Smoltz would play out there back in the day. You could have a really fun afternoon of lunch of a bunch of dudes playing.
Yeah. I think I'd be out of breath these days, but back in the day I used to love run it. Now I'm just more like just sit out here and shoot a few.
I used to put on a weighted vest
and play basketball.
This was back before everybody else was doing it. Probably about 15 years ago. And so I would put that on, and at the time, I'm guarding guys that are probably like 10 years younger, and I would just remind them, I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm wearing about a 10, 15 pound weighted vest, and you're not shaking me loose.
Uh-oh.
And then I would take it off, and now I'm like Superman. I was like, there's so much speed here now.
Super loose. Quicker than a cat. No, I love it, dude. That's awesome. I'm thinking maybe a bike ride is in store for today. On the Alpharetta Greenway, man. I just love it.
How easy is that to access from your neighborhood? Like, do you have to get on the public roads much?
Well, once you get to the Greenway, not at all. But right out the back of our neighborhood is Union Hill Park, probably like 7 minutes away. So I just throw the bike in the back of the truck and roll over there. And then
because I don't want you riding out on the roads.
I wouldn't trust it.
I'd be scared,
dude. The way people come around.
Yeah,
can't do that where I'm at. There's no trails for that.
Yeah, see the Alpharetta Greenway that connects with Roswell and connects with Cumming. I mean, there's a lot of places to ride.
There's a lot of space, like. Because I haven't been out.
Step your game up, Cherokee County.
I haven't been out there in years, but we would take the girls out there to ride bikes, and I remember that running for at least 3 or 4 miles of just bike trail.
No, that's right, dude. I think it's even way more than that now. Just because they continue to build it all out. Like I went from Union Hill Park over to the Alpharetta YMCA and back, and I think that was about 6 miles, and I didn't even know it. My watch is the one that told me. Like I would have never known the distance. So when I told my wife and son, I was like, guess we went on a 6-mile bike ride today. They're like, my son's
this guy.
But it was funny. My son's first response, not you. I was like, oh, yes, sir, it was. You better back off. Me and my buddy John got on that trail and we're gone. I turned around at the Y and went back. He went all the way to Holcomb Bridge. This dude is he's a rider. He does all that. But
he's got that experience on
dude,
it.
I don't know what that is. From Union Hill Park to Holcomb Bridge, I bet that's 15 miles.
I just need to get my shooting touch back. I did do a little bit of shooting over the weekend. I just need, as we're getting into things warming up, I just need to get my golf swing a little bit tighter again and my shooting well. Because if I can light up dudes in the neighborhood, well, then that's more neighborhood cred.
That's right, absolutely.
That's right.
Not only does he hand out airplane bottles at Halloween.
And he wears a hot dog.
That's right.
And him and his wife are kind of fun, but he can also shoot a little bit.
He can also drain the bottom out of it.
Because I lost some cred.
What?
No
way.
Yeah, no, it happened. We were down in a basement, and thank you to John for inviting us on over and everybody else.
What's up, Johnny?
So he's got a pool table. And other people were looking for partners. And I flat out told them, I am awful at pool. To the point where, there's, the women were in there and mixing in. And I was like, I can't play with her.
Yeah, she's going to blow me out of the water.
Just destroy me.
Yeah.
It's like, I grew up with a pool table, and yet it was like, that's Dad and his friend's table. I wasn't on it.
Mess with it.
I didn't mess with it. So I've never played pool. I'll throw darts all day long.
I love throwing darts, too.
I'll throw darts all day.
Dude, I'm so bad at it.
I'm good at darts. I'm bad at pool.
My wife used to run me out of the room because she threw darts in college. They would go out college beer, whatever the beer special was in college, and they would just throw darts.
So
she used to wear me out.
It's good when we can talk like this amongst friends. So we used to play club volleyball with this one couple, the McVeys, and both outstanding, smart people, both tech grads, just really cool. Their daughters or kids, everybody's really cool. Love hanging out with them. And so we're getting into club season, get to hang out with the McVeys again. They did meet in a pool hall in college.
Let's go.
And we did start joking around about the term pool hall slut. And both of them were like, yeah, I guess we're both kind of pool hall sluts.
I guess so. Kind of like that.
The pool hall, I mean, that's
seedy.
That's seedy. It's different. Like if it was a bar and all they did was throw darts and serve, liquor, I'd be like, okay, it's cool here.
It's like the El Rancho.
But I know what it is.
Like the El Rancho that Roadhouse was based on in Dalton, Georgia.
Yeah.
Dude, that place.
Seedy.
My aunt worked there, had the best hamburgers in Dalton, Georgia. But when you walked in, you're like, you knew. You're like, you better act right in here because there's a bunch of bikers and they'll hit you with that pool stick.
Yeah.
It was a seedy joint.
Love
That's
that.
so funny, the fact that they met at a pool
At a pool hall.
Not at church, at a pool hall.
They've been, again, married for years.
No, I
great
love
people.
it. I think it's awesome.
Can't wait to see them again. But I've got to build up some cred again because I didn't play any pool.
Didn't perform. Now, see, we played pool during the. We went up to a friend's. They have a place up in the mountains, and they had a pool table. And dude, me and my buddy Greg, we knocked everybody down. And I'm not saying we're great by any means. We're just better than everybody there. And at pool,
I'm terrible.
Yeah, I don't think I'm great by any means. If anybody was actually good, but compared to all the kids and everybody else that was there, I think there was about 12 or 15. But Greg and I, we showed out that night.
I just need to get the shooting touch.
That's right.
Right where it needs to be.
Get that follow through.
That way, everybody in the neighborhood knows. Do not try and get him on the court.
That's right. Because he will shut you
down.
Because
he will go right by you. He will make some plays on you.
Yeah, dude, I'm not getting by anybody. I was never fast to begin with, or even quick for that matter. I was just good enough to make the team and sit on the bench. And I think they didn't cut me truly because man, I'm going to break this kid's heart. We don't got anybody else. We need 10.
They were, hey, just make sure listen, somebody can grab the equipment.
Exactly.
Bring it out.
And it's him.
That's what he's going to do.
He can tote it around for us.
He'll love it. And go get the L screen, coward.
That's exactly, dude. I'm telling you. Yeah, but during games, there'd be a foul ball, and I'd be like, I'll go get it. And they're like, no, you stay right there. This is live play.
You could get hurt out there, son.
That's right. You could fall down. Clumsy klutz. Yeah, I'm telling you. That's the way it went. So I never was quick, or I was never getting.
You think the coach would look at your mama in the stands and kind of give her the knowing nod of we're taking care of him?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I remember my daddy one time, he got mad. This was freshman year of high school basketball, freshman team, freshman squad. And I didn't get put into a game. We were blowing somebody out or getting blown out, which is probably more likely. And even then, the last 2 or 3 minutes, they didn't put me in the game.
Oh.
And my dad was furious. And he was ready to go talk to the coach after. It was like, it's freaking, you get blown out. You can at least put him on the court for the last 30 seconds. He didn't. Mama held him back. But, Dennis' pride was on the line a little bit.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is.
That's a tough one.
He didn't do it, which I was glad, because that would have been, embarrassing. Not only do you suck, your dad is coming to fight for you, and you suck.
Yeah.
That's awful. I mean, God bless him. God rest his soul.
It is all coming together in a way where you're like, man, yeah, me too. I would have been like, I'm going to the Navy. I'm getting out of this town.
I'm
getting out of here. I'm done with all y'all.
You and your road runners.
Did you ever see the movie Just Friends? So it's a Ryan Reynolds vehicle?
I think so, yes.
Do you ever remember the scene where he's telling the girl he's always been friends with that he's trying to admit that he loves her?
Yeah.
and everybody makes fun of him.
Yeah.
And so fat guy jumps on a bike and rides away. It's like, I hate all you. I'm never
I'm never coming back.
That's what I would like to think that Doug Cowart.
That's right.
Jumped on that bicycle as like the entire football team, and everybody's laughing at him. Yeah. And Dad's got a sad face, and he's like, I'm leaving all you behind.
That's right. I'm out of here.
All you people are losers.
That's right. No good. That's exactly the way it came down. Surprisingly, I'm telling you, man, it was a joy growing up in Dalton, Georgia. Probably not for my parents. It probably wasn't a joy for them, but it was for me for quite some time. And then I got my feelings hurt and had to ride off on a bicycle, flipping everybody off. But I got my Cracker Jacks, damn it.
And now you go on bike rides for fun.
That's right. Absolutely.
See how it all circles back?
I don't have to flip anybody off. I'm just on the left.
Well done, Jure. Look how he just put a bow on this entire show.
Genius the man is. Genius. That'll do it for us. We're going to leave you with Beck, Clay, and Buck. And then the afternoon show, the live and local afternoon show with the Cameron, Pete, and Flounder, only on Extra 106.3 for Los and Dre. I'm telling y'all, come back now, you.
Support the advertisers and partners that share your values. Give our extra advertisers the